この戦いがこれでどうか。いいよ。おっと。千山万世語るに及ぶ。守ります。
What is up, everybody? Alright, so Yan rightfully got the buff, feels good. And other than maybe Kojiro, he got the biggest buff out of anybody. The upgraded his NP, so it does more damage. It gives him crit up, I think 3 turns, 50%, and he puts quick resistance down on the enemy, so that's a lot. Okay, so it's gonna do the dragon, then we'll do low bow and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if the command code placement is big brain or not. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, hold on. Let's get some appropriate music for this. There we go. Okay, let's see. Definitely casting this. I guess I'm casting this? That might be wrong. Do I cast my 3rd skill next turn or this turn? I'm gonna cast it this turn and just presume I'm gonna make a lot of stars. Holy fuck, okay, that's 70, 90, good enough. If we can loop, this is gonna be great. Press all the buttons, indeed. Yeah, a lot of people got resistance down. Flex didn't, though. He got a lot more than the resistance down, though. He also got the crit buff and the damage up and all that. I'd actually say the resist down is probably one of the smaller parts of the buff, really. Not that it's bad, it's actually... Really? Really? Okay, that's so bull... We did crit down. Now, granted, it's not as big as 100 Faces crit down, but we did crit down, and then he double crits us, and his one weakness is, you know, limited survival. That is some bullshit right there. And we didn't even get our NP out of it, so that wasn't worth it at all. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this again. That's so not fair. The dragon doesn't have a very high crit chance to begin with. We had crit down on him, and then he double crit, and he never buffed. Well, at least we're gonna do a lot of damage here. Oh, is he crit damage down? Let me see. Yeah, he is crit damage down. That's rather rare. Well, at least it didn't hurt as much, I guess. And see, at this point, with 2 of the debuffs, that's a lot of crit damage down, so that's not too bad. Just enough to kill us, though. We just got 2-turned by the fucking dragon. That is nonsense. And like, yeah, Yan's problem is he doesn't have good survivability. But when was the last time anyone got 2-turned here? The crit damage down is really good for, her name is Qing. I don't know why it said that way, that's what people have told me. But anyway, she's really good with crit damage down, but everybody else prefers chance down, I would say. The only exception to that is if the boss has like a gimmick where they have like 300% crit up, so no amount of crit down is going to save you. So you might as well make them do less damage. Dragon is sick of these solos, apparently. Like how everyone was saying that I forgot to turn my mic on when I was obviously just like speeding through the reset to change the command codes. Like the stream hadn't actually started yet. Like, did you see how fast I was clicking buttons? Like, Jesus. I was just trying to get the starting soon screen to be back where it was. I ain't got time to talk when I'm doing that. You kidding me? We actually are kind of pushing it on NP gain here. We need to get a card on this next hand. They must not have gotten any NP gain on the first turn. That should be enough. But Yan is still definitely not going to be some god tier solo unit because he is very limited on survivability. But I actually like his buff. I've been saying this for a while, I think I have, that I'd rather to give Yan just way more damage instead of giving him survivability because his thing was kind of that already. It's just his damage wasn't even remotely good enough to warrant having no survivability. Kind of like with Jin K. You know, if you're going to make them damagey, that's fine. It's totally fine to make units that have no survival and are all about, you know, boom, boom, bang, bang, but you have to do a lot of fucking damage for it to be worth it. We'll see, Ari. I'm gonna have to actually test him. I have no idea where I would place him, like, amongst 4 stars till I use him some. I doubt he's better than Shiki, but that's a tall order anyway. Maybe we don't use Atlas. We might do default. We might want heal boost on quick, just so we can have double it, but I don't know. I definitely think he's going to be solid, and I do think if you have a setup where you're not worried about your DPS having survival, like maybe you've got other units on the team or taunt walls or whatever, they got the survivability covered, I think for a 4-star he's going to do really well because he can easily crit himself, he can easily make someone else crit, and that's actually an awesome need. You know, he's going to do plenty of damage with his NP, he's going to be a good nuker. So, Chiome is much stronger now though because she got buffed recently. So I'm actually not sure if he's better than her or not. Because she was already pretty good. She was underrated in my opinion. And then her... I want to do quick. That's the thing, because we have quick resistance down. But we do need to heal. So if there's one turn we don't do it, it's this one. I mean, this is pretty nice normal card damage though for being a neutral. Like that's quite solid there. But yeah, he is definitely going to be a bad solo unit, but that's kind of the breaks there. I clicked the wrong button! I was going too fast. I clicked the wrong button, god damn it. I almost never make that mistake too. Like, it's so rare that I make that mistake. I mean, maybe the Buster will crit. Nope, didn't even have the decency to do that. Imagine having double quick resist down and then doing a Buster card at the end of the chain for some reason. Okay, I can heal next turn. That might buy me a turn here. I should have done quick. I was thinking get my NP, but quick would have been better. Mistakes are being made. Now that I have invulnerability, he buffs. Okay, unfortunately, I kind of have to heal here. I'll Star Bomb next turn to make up for it, though. I love command codes, by the way. They're great. Now the command code UI can get out. Don't kill me. Really? He killed me by 100 health. Are you kidding me? He killed me by 100 health. So if this went well, I think, and I made some better plays there, you could probably get to 700k, I would say, which is decent. It's not like, you know, by no means is that the best that we've seen, but for a 4-star at neutral, that's okay. That's reasonable. Not, you know, game breaking here, and we've got, you know, 100 face who can solo the damn thing, but by the way, 100 face is just silly. How did Shiki do here? I don't remember. Let's use him one more time here, and then we'll go do Lobo. And then maybe we do some CCC, and then we'll compare to, like, Shiki and whatnot. Although maybe if we're gonna compare on the Dragon, we should do it like one at a time. We should do, I think we're gonna do Shiki versus Lobo, by the way. I think that's finally gonna happen. But so we'll do Yan here against the Dragon, then we'll do Shiki against the Dragon, and then we'll do Yan against Lobo, and then we'll do Shiki against Lobo. I feel like that's kind of fair. Did we test Chiyohime against, or it's not Chiyohime, that's Kiyohime. Just Chiom, I think is her name. Anyway, did we test her against Lobo? I want to say that we did, and she did decently well, but I don't remember. Chiom did really well against the Dragon, that I remember. I don't think she won, but she got very far. Like, she got pretty close to winning off memory. She was a bit more upgraded though than Yan. She was level 100. So if Yan was as upgraded as she was, Yan would have made it to like, and I played better. I mean, I got a little lucky. I probably could have made it to like 650k maybe? Hey Gavin. I'm sure we have tested Shiki against the Dragon. I just haven't done it in a while, so I can't really remember how she did. Her evade is definitely going to help a lot here. It won't help as much though against Lobo, like in a team setting, because Lobo has got Pearson or Sure Hit, and so you'd only use it for normal card damage anyway. But you kind of got the normal card damage dealt with because of taunts and healing and stuff. So it's not bad. It's still helpful, but it's not as useful as it might be in other fights. Oh yeah, I doubt Shiki can solo the Dragon because, as you say, it's a long fight and she's more of a burst unit. But I suspect she'll still have a decent performance. I actually would have liked one of those to crit just for more stars. Would have been better than the potential 1-star from Stella. You can if he procs insta-death. I hate that, by the way. I'm gotta be ready to ult F4 in case anybody does that. I can't remember if we have tried Zig here. We probably have tried Zig in the past, but definitely not recently. It's actually kind of hard to find maxed out Zigs. Okay, let's do this. It's only 31 stars, but it's kind of nice to just get it on cooldown so I can use it again later. It's the goal. So I do think we want heal boost on Quick. I don't think we necessarily want the heal. I think what we want is we want the heal on Buster, and we want the heal boost on Quick. That way, well, that's awkward though. You still could do double heal boost that way. I do think the heal boost needs to be on Quick, but I don't know what to put the regular heal on. Because if you put the heal boost on Quick, you could still do Buster quicker than the art to get the heal boost, and then you could get the heal boost smoother. Because like I can't get the heal boost right now, even though I want to. Well, maybe I don't use his third skill here, and you do Buster quick here, and you get the heal boost that way. I don't know. I really like doing quick kick here though, because you have quick up, and then you're gonna get the quick resist down. Out of all the times we've done this Dragon, we've insta-deathed it one time ever. And we've even, and that's funnily enough, it wasn't when we were doing an insta-death setup. We've actually done an insta-death setup several times, where we do like Brant, Shiki, Sanson, you know, stack all the stuff, we had Bonsies and all that for insta-death chance, and we kept doing the infies over and over and over and over again. We never insta-killed them again. We just insta-killed them once in a solo, just out of the blue. Yeah, we missed the crit. We won't miss it this turn though.
おっと
Yeah, this turn right here I really don't like.
せい
It's worth it to heal, like no question.
語るに及ぶ
But I don't like making stars there. We have 2 crit buffs, right? We're about to have a 3rd crit buff. Critting on this turn is one of the most important times to crit, honestly. Because you're gonna double crit resist down, quick up, double crit up, actually triple crit up. Well, 50-60. I mean, he could do it.
奥義おっいいよ 闇の胸郭ここに参上
Think he got to 537k on the dragon? Okay, thanks, Ethan. We can kind of, we want to skip the dragon with her, then we'll still do Lobo though. That's pretty impressive, actually, just because that's a little bit better than I thought she would do, because this is a, you know, long fight. I'm surprised she did that well. I don't think Yan is that far off though, because Shiki was level 100, where Yan is 90, and he's not 2k foed or anything. So if I play perfectly, we found the exact best way to set up the command codes, and we just got a little lucky, right? I could see him making it to, you know, maybe 620k, maybe even 600k. No way he's making it to the 500k range, but like really, that's not bad. That's especially for him not being a good solo unit. Do I want the NP gain buff here, or do I wait? I think I'll get my NP here no matter what, so I might as well wait. And I don't want to shuffle the crits because we made 60 stars, so it doesn't do anything. I need to heal next turn, unfortunately. Hey, Thin, what's up, man? Thank you for the bits. Is that emote like a bit-only emote? Because it doesn't have like a source when you look at it.
よし来て
I forget which one of these is better. Oh, that's the saber damage one. I think... Is that one the 25 crit on sabers? And this one's just 20. I know this one right here is just 20. So I think this one is better. They're either better or they're tied.
よし来ていいよ
I'll do it that way.
せい
I know the other anti-saber one is just 10%.
千山万水語るに及ぶ
Yeah, I remember the Siegfried one is 20, but that one is just damage, not crit. Is the sword one 25? I thought it was 20. If you mean the Siegfried sword one. I guess I'm just crazy.
あれだそれよった
Nah, I should have done that next turn.
よし奥義蒼天
Because,
いいよ
I'm not gonna make stars now.
せい
Sword is 25? Wow, that's better than I thought.
ここに参上
Good to know.
10
Would have been nice if that art card would have crit. Because we got 3 crit buffs, an NP gain buff. Alright, well, this is the last turn for us.
いいよよおっと
Probably should have done the 70-70, but
せい
not bad. I think you can clearly see though, if he was 2k foed, if he was level 100, and maybe we changed the command codes around a little bit, I could see him getting to 650, 620. Like I can definitely see him doing that. That is totally respectable. Again, for a burst unit, neutral, 4-star, you're not completely max. I'm pretty happy with that. Because the fact that 100 Face can solo it is just how that's just how ridiculous 100 Face is, right? Let's do Lobo though, Ari. We might come back to this in a minute because I do think he can get farther, but definitely heal boost on quick. I'm really not sure where to put the actual heal. I might keep the actual heal on Art, because if you put it on Buster, what's going to happen is you're going to heal before you apply the heal boost a second time. So I think for Dragon, you definitely heal boost on quick, like there's no question there. But then probably still the heal on Art. And then I don't know what to put on Buster, but... Alright, hold on, I gotta switch to Samsung Flow because I keep forgetting to set up decks so I can actually play my ult account on it because I am an idiot. Also, I don't understand why they set up so many barriers to allow you to do that on decks, but it is what it is. Okay. At least they actually support Samsung decks though, because a lot of their other apps that are similar to it, they kind of just abandoned in 5 seconds, which is pretty annoying. And it's not like the widescreen update is Flo's fault, that is FGO's fault. Slightly twink this. Oh, right there. There we go. That looks good. Hey, and Finn with the gifted sub to Maniac. Maniac's here all the time, so feels good, man. But thanks, Finn. I appreciate it. I haven't used Kuretsugu in a while. Kuretsugu's hard to quantify though because he's such a utility-based character with like the targeted taunt and that kind of thing. So in straight oomph, I'd imagine Yan is probably better. But in terms of it being overall useful, it just depends. Harry, do I have you added over here? I feel like I should. Wouldn't shock me if Artemis got a buff tomorrow. So the data mine that people put out is definitely accurate. They've been right about pretty much everything. Basically, they found like the changes in the files, like the new effects and stuff like that. This is my regular ult, like with Achilles and Gilgamesh. Oh, right, there you are. Green 2. And so, the only other thing that the data mined is somebody gets like some kind of attack up. What was it? It was like attack up for lawful or something. Which, I mean, I don't know who the hell is going to get that. That's kind of random. But some people think maybe it's extra Vlad, like he'll get something weird like that. But they had said that like the data for Yan's NP had changed, and several other ones, and they were right about it. So they've been right about all of them. So all the other stuff they predicted is probably right too. However, they didn't actually predict something for every servant because they just didn't data mine everything. So not what's left is not quite clear. Yeah, but yeah, I think the other effect was like lawful charisma, basically, or something. I could see that being on Vlad. That wouldn't shock me. Okay, we're not Buster. What do we do for Quick here? Quick is always so awkward for budget teams. You want the heal boost on something? I would say no for this fight. I would say the regular heal is just fine. Just a little bit of extra oomph, but I don't think we need the heal boost. I wouldn't think so. Although it's not bad, like, because it works for Hans's buff too, so I'm not gonna complain. It's not like negative or anything, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I gotta work this in. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, definitely Hans Mash. That's kind of just been the standard we've done for testing people here. It's also just effective. They just counter Lobo really effectively, so. So we got David, who's bringing a taunt. We got Alex. Oh yeah, this account Alex sucks though. We got Fuma. Can we please have a dedicated quick support for 1 to 3 stars? Like, it feels really stupid that we don't have one. Are we 10-10 over here? We're not. Damn it. Ult account, please. I would totally have tried that. Also, imagine if Mato Hari had been the one buffed and we had a stream where we were testing Mato Hari out. I would be totally okay with using Alex if he wasn't 1-1-1 on this account. Be useful here because he'll remove buffs. So he removes the evade, he removes the defense up, the attack up. Well, like, that's great. Yeah, make Mato Hari a quick support. I kind of like her being a generic support though for all card types, but I take that over nothing. Could use Mozart. It's not that good though. I have no idea what to use here. Like, nothing is that great. Anything I slot is just going to be kind of like, yeah, protect me. And that's it. Could do David, just for the attack up. I guess I'll do Qin Gong even though he's Buster. Either that or Leo or Fuma. Fuma's okay, but I think I'll do Qin Gong. Do Star Bomb if I can find one. There we go. Alright. Atlas? Yeah, probably Atlas. I really should though, when we use units here that have decent survivability on their own, I should use default. Like, they're not gonna need the invulnerability, and you want to capitalize. Like, what you want to show off on them is that they can win faster, right? So I should probably do that. Oh, I mean, I don't know. Some units though, the Atlas cooldown reduction ends up being more damage than what they'd get out of default. Now, that's not always true, but it's just, I think it is true when you're fighting an Avenger and you're not counterclassing, because the fight's gonna be really long. Where, let's say you're using Shiki against a Rider, the fight's probably not going to be long enough for Atlas to really kick in, and so then you might just want default. Yeah, I might use her again. I want to say we used her against Lobo, but I don't remember how she did. So I feel like testing her here is pretty applicable to Yan, because they're both 4-star assassins. So it's like totally fair. Like, I know we used her, and I'm pretty sure she won, but I don't really remember how she performed. Nice opening hand though, I'll take that. I'm actually not going to use Han's second skill because I feel like Yan doesn't have any cards left, so we'll use what's left over to just get Han's NP gain. That seems likely to me. Actually, it wouldn't shock me if it was Lancer Artoria either, to be honest. But I do think it fits Vlad extra better. I hope it's on his NP though. When he NPs, he applies the effect, but it probably is not. It's probably a skill buff if it is, and that's kind of lame. I think everybody wants an upgraded NP for Extra Vlad because I don't feel like Extra Vlad's skills are bad. They're fine. Like, the only issue I have with Lancer Vlad is just if his niche isn't up, his NP damage is just kind of eh. I bet you they're gonna buff military tactics though. That's. Again, everyone's like, oh, but all it does is NP damage up, that's so underwhelming. But the thing is, it's not about what one skill does. It matters what all your skills do. And all of his skills in total, he has debuff resistance 100%, which is very good for 3 turns. I mean, that's nuts. He's basically immune to debuffs for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. Very good. Same skill also heals him for 2,500. Again, 5-turn cooldown, that's very good. 40% defense up, that's extremely good. Only 1 turn, but still extremely good. 20% attack up for 3 turns, that's good. His other skill has Taunt, which taunts are amazing. They're so fucking amazing. Makes 10 stars per turn, so it synergizes with Hans or Merlin or whatever. That's fucking excellent. Then he has NP up. That's fine. It doesn't matter, like, that the second one only has the one effect. It's about your total effects. And that is, everything I just listed, that's a fucking lot, right? And he also has Pierce Vulnerability anytime he NPs, and he gets the big bonus damage against evil. That's all awesome. Now, the ideal, because like for example, let's say they add attack up to his second skill. That attack up could equal a larger amount of damage than you would get from an upgraded NP. It could. It might not, but it certainly could. It wouldn't surprise me. However, the attack up's not going to last forever, and you might NP without it, and if you have an upgraded NP, it's just a universal damage buff. And then also you can have both. That's what you want. That's why people miss that so much in my tier list video. I keep bringing up a unit not having an upgraded NP compared to some other unit that does. and I list that as like a con, and be like, oh, it doesn't matter if they don't have an upgraded NP because, you know, they might have damage up skills. Like, it doesn't matter because the other units have damage up skills and an upgraded NP, right? Now, sure, some units just get so much damage up skills, they don't need an upgraded NP, right? And there's plenty of units that I rate highly that don't have upgraded NPs. But there's a lot of units that don't have upgraded NPs, and they don't have good toolkits either. So it's a very, you know, noteworthy con when you're a unit that does not have an upgraded NP and you don't have a skill set that's good. And even if you do have, here's an example, Scath, Summer Scath. Summer Scath, she has a damage up skill, but that one damage up skill is not enough to all of a sudden turn that unit around, right? Like, she's still not really beating people in NP damage. She beats some people, but not by enough to make up for how those other people have way better toolkits than her. It's very relevant. Okay, we did not get our NP. That kind of sucks, but we are gonna art chain here. That means I should not have used Hans's third skill. I pretty much wasted it. And I end up doing that a lot in this fight, I've noticed. Grab a heal, though. Do that. Oh yeah, DW had no idea what they were doing early on in the game. I can see them buffing Martha someday again. She's pretty good as is, though. I mean, her anti-debuff niche is awesome, and her buff removal at the same time, right? Like, that's some powerful stuff. I could have Mash NP if I wanted to get overcharge. I think that's good because Yan did not get any cards this turn. What's our order here, then? I think we do that. Hopefully we'll get lucky next turn and get a really nice hand. But, yeah, in the long run, I want to see extra Vlad get... Oh, right, yeah, the evade. That's not, we're not throwing, we'll be fine. Most of our damage is probably from crits anyway. Yeah, that's kind of the problem when we have undamaging NPs. Anyway, what was I just talking about? Oh yeah, if Vlad could get an NP buff and this like attack up buff on his second skill, that's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I suspect if this all turns out to be true, what they're gonna do is they're gonna make military tactics turn into some other skill, and it will give the like a 3-turn attack up for the team for lawful as well, or something like that. I wonder if they'll make the NP damage last longer. They do that a lot for skills like that. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, this kind of works out because now we got the quick resistance down and the crit buff, and we literally have the best hand possible for that. Like, this is, if you're gonna do what we just did, this is definitely the hand you want to see. Because we're just gonna get our NP again anyway. So, I mean, like, it literally is not even a problem, but that's, we just got lucky for the most part. I mean, I thought this was likely. I did think this hand coming up was likely, but, it's not like I planned it out like this. I just knew this was likely, and I thought it'd be a bonus later. I wasn't thinking that it was better than that way. But actually, that worked out pretty well. Probably not ideal, but, what's really not ideal is when we just used our defense removal command code, and he just cast the defense buff. That's the painful part. And straight up, you know what's more impactful than me using that NP like I did? That actually, that really was not that big of a negative. I think it was a bit of a negative, but that really did not affect things very much. What does affect things is that I cast Hans's third skill too soon. And I could have had it for after that NP, and we could have our NP again right now. And stuff like that. Then I could get the crit buff again and the resist thing again. Like, that's where I really messed up. Also, the deck shuffling has just been really weird. Like, honestly, if we had actually not messed up Hans, I legit think using our NP on evade there would have actually been the right play. But because I didn't use Hans's third skill like that, because if I could just use my NP again that fast, like, who cares? Like, yeah, sure, just give me the buffs and debuffs and good enough. You basically use that as like a buff turn, but sadly we did not do that right. I'm actually going to reset because we're really behind because of that. That's a huge slowdown. There's the snake. We'll use her momentarily. I want to do Shiki next just because we haven't done Shiki here. this whole time. Because if you loop there, it's fine. You're basically just grabbing the buffs. You know, like, oh, you know, use this filler turn. So I can't really do anything this turn anyway, because I have to use the mash and Hans NP, so I might as well grab another buff. And if you NP by the time you were going to actually NP, then yeah, no harm done. Just free buffs. But yeah, it didn't literally the Hans, like one tick from Hans's thing would have been enough there, so that was kind of unfortunate. I think I use Hans's skill to art chain here. That's where I wish we happened to have the Merlin command code there, because that probably would have been enough to NP next turn. It's from the Atlas Academy, I think people, and they posted it on Twitter. Like, I've seen it, and they have been correct on pretty much everything. I actually think they've been correct on everything, because they didn't really straight up say who's gonna get buffed. They kind of just said, okay, these are the files that have been changed, and these are the effects that we found, and then it's pretty easy to figure out who they're for. And some of them it's blatant, because it's like, oh yeah, like, this character had their, like, they found that Yan's NP files had been changed. It's like, okay, well, Yan's probably getting buffed then, right? Let's see here. The reason they don't normally get sourced is because it gets shared so much more than... Like, so many people just bring up the information and not the source, and a lot of people don't have the source, and that's why. Also, because the way that they post the leaks are terrible. Like, no hate for those people, but the way that they post... You really can't source them, because they spread it out over 1 million tweets in a very unformatted way, right? There's no, like, you can't just link one thing, like, there's the leak. You can't do that, because it's in multiple tweets, and it's in shambles, right? So, that's kind of their own fault for, they have probably the least shareable format imaginable. And so, yeah, that ends up being more word of mouth, because it's a combination of it getting out there so fast that the source gets lost, and also, like, seriously, the source is so fucking bad. It's just, and I don't mean that it's bad and uncredible, I mean it's bad as in, like, how are you fucking supposed to source that? Okay, now we use Hans's third skill. Don't think I want a star bomb here. I mean, nah, I'm not gonna. We got Hans's crit buff kind of going to waste here, but we'll deal with it. By the way, I'm pretty sure that whole emergency maintenance thing was a PR stunt. Like, it's, from what I understand, it is not like Atlas Academy hacks DW. They do not do that. Like, they don't. What they do is they go into the game files that you have on your phone and stuff, and a lot of times they'll export them to a computer and that kind of thing, and, you know, that's what they're doing. That's not even illegal, by the way. It's not illegal, and it's not a hack, it's not a security breach. But, like, the way Japan always responds to these kinds of things is to try to, you know, make it look bad, it's like a, almost like a, I've seen DW specifically, but I see Japanese companies so often try to stop data mining in really, like, stupid, immature ways and stuff. And I get it, I don't mind, I don't mind devs, you know, trying to make, you know, encrypting their files, trying to make it harder for people to spoil things. That's fine, it's their game, they're allowed to encrypt their files however they want to. But data mining is not illegal, it's not. Like, it's literally not. You have access to your own device, and that's all you're doing. It is against terms of service. That is correct. It is against terms of service. But my point is, and so that's fine. If you find that someone's data mining and you ban them, that's fine. They can do that. You obviously can't file a lawsuit against them, though. And also, trying to take up the moral high ground is just stupid. And what a lot of times companies do is, like, they do, like, these emergency maintenances to, like, try to make the players think that, you know, they hacked into, you know, DW specifically, and how bad these people are. And I see that kind of, and not just from DW specifically, but just from Japanese companies. They do that kind of, like, stunt all of the time. They try to, like, really demonize data mining and stuff. And it just doesn't work. There's no point in trying to do that. They're going to data mine anyway. Now, some leaks are not from data mines, by the way. Like, you had that Genshin Impact thing where they, like, literally got the dev client somehow, which I think it was because a dev leaked it, I think is what happened. Ultimately, though, that's the dev's fault, not the people's fault, right? I think really a lot of Japanese companies, just the way they respond to leaks and data mine is just immature and stupid, and it's also feudal. Like, they're hoping people will somehow just change their ways and stop doing it. That's not going to happen. The smart way to do it is, I definitely think, I don't think Blizzard does a lot right. I think Blizzard does a lot of PR blunders. But Blizzard has handled data mining very well, and they basically just played ball, right? And because they played ball, you know, a lot of times they just work, they pretty much supply it in a way that it's easy for people like Wowhead and stuff to do what they're going to do anyway. But because of that, and because they work with them and they're not like shitheads about it, if they asked Wowhead, hey, can you know, keep this one thing secret and stuff, they normally do, right? Like, if you play ball a lot of times, it goes better, right? Because, like, Blizzard has completely, they realize there's no staffing data mining. You just can't, right? Now, sure, sometimes they encrypt things, or they'll intentionally not put certain important things on the test servers and things like that, and to make sure it doesn't get leaked. And good on them. That's, if you want to keep a secret, you know, you got to put in the work. But if you're not going to put in the work, and you're not going to, if you're going to lazily, you know, dump all your files on a test server and it gets data mined, you really can't bitch about it, because it's 2021 and data mining is very easy to do, and it's going to happen if you like it or not. And if you just file dump on your test servers and it gets data mined, at this point it is your fault. It is not the data miner's fault, right? It's just welcome to, you know, reality. You know, this is how it is. Where Blizzard, for the most part, if things get leaked, you know, through data mining, they're like, oh yeah, we should have just not put that on the test server. And then they actually have a line of communication with the data miners. Now, they don't have a line of communication with everybody that's a data miner. You got, like, literally any, you know, random dude on Twitter or whatever. But most users, most of their players, are only going to go to things like Wowhead and stuff because it's so accessible and you know, reliable and trustworthy. And so they only really have to worry about what Wowhead shows. So they just work with them and it's not a problem. Where Japan is just fucking terrible with this kind of stuff, and they act like, you know, we're back in the olden days, and they're hoping people will, like, change their minds about it or something, which is just ridiculous. Well, here, okay, so how I feel about, like, data mining, like for Genshin and FGO. You know, one, I think it's going to happen, period, and you know, so there's no point in fighting it. But, you know, I get it, like, you know, when devs don't want things to be leaked and spoil stuff, but again, if devs want to make sure something doesn't get spoiled, then you need to make sure you're not putting that stuff on the test server. And that's what a lot of companies do. They'll put the stuff that needs to be tested on the test server, but they'll go out of their way to be like, oh yeah, that one story bit, make sure those files for, like, those voice lines and stuff aren't in the test. And because what a lot of devs will do, they're getting better at it now, but they're like, okay, yeah, we'll exclude the story segment from the test server, but they'll still dump the files, and so you can find, like, the voice files and stuff and figure out what happens in that story segment. Right? And so if you want to keep that a secret, don't put it on the test server in the first place, right? You know, actually pay attention to what you're putting up. Well, a lot of devs just don't do that kind of stuff. But yeah, the Genshin stuff was different. So some of Genshin's leaks are just regular data mines, and that's, again, I don't think that's morally wrong, and there is no legal ground to stand on for that to be a problem. But some of their leaks weren't data mines. They were because most likely a developer leaked, you know, client-side stuff, you know, from the dev, stuff like they, like, use internally. Like, he basically leaked their internal build, and that let people get a lot of information they absolutely were not supposed to get, and that is illegal. Like, that actually is illegal. Like, because if you work for a company, right, you can't just do whatever you want, right? If you accept a job, it is breaking the law to expose certain things of information, or to steal data and take it home and things like that. That is against the law. So the Genshin situation is different because it is against the law and it is reasonable. Like, that's the stuff that, you know, they absolutely did not want people to know about, and they did take the steps to not let people, you know, easily data mine and stuff. Yeah, the Genshin situation really was different, and that's the thing. Nuance matters. I'm not, like, giving some blanket statement that all data mining and actually all leaks, I should say, all leaks are not good, right? Some of them are breaking laws, some of them are, you know, immoral, some of them are, you know, really lame, but most of them aren't. I would say most leaks are not that, and normally it's literally just people accessing their own files, which is not like obviously is not against the law. You know, it's your machine. You can do whatever you want with it. You know, there's a huge difference between a company putting up something that's publicly accessible and you downloading it, and then you downloading some other program that's also legal and then extracting the files, right? That's just completely legal, right? And if a company wants to keep their secrets, you don't put them up where they're publicly available. That's the thing. So that's why there's not much they can do legally. Now, when they can do something legally is when, you know, people do hack into like their servers and you know, their computers and things like that and get information that way. That you can do something about. But yeah, that whole thing that I saw recently with DW, with them shutting the servers down, acting like there was a security breach and everything, as far as I can tell, that literally did not happen. And they're just trying to BS, as they have many times in the past, to try to make like the leakers look bad. But literally what happened was they put the buffs in the game. Like the files are in the game right now for a lot of the buffs, and you know, you can access them and figure out what they are if you know how. That's, you know, that's nothing. That's ultimately the devs' fault, not the players. Yeah, that's also different, Fury. Like people, Genshin's situation is very different from FGO's. No one signs an NDA for FGO, right? There's no beta for FGO. There's no test server for FGO. So, for example, if FGO did have a test server and you had to sign an NDA to play it, or just to download it, that's the more important thing, just to download it, you had to sign an NDA, then it would be illegal to spread the information you got from the test servers and stuff. Whereas with Genshin, that's what happens sometimes, is people join like a beta program that you have to, but they won't let you download it unless you sign an NDA, and then then they spread the information anyway, and that is illegal. But yeah, FGO is just not in that situation, and most and Genshin's not even a Japanese dev, but this applies to a lot of Korean games too, actually. But you know, a lot of the games that have these similar problems with leaks and stuff, and they try to like make this big show of it, you know, generally they don't even have an NDA. Also, I don't know. I'm curious. Do they have? Because this actually is relevant, although maybe it's not in Japan, but it definitely would be in America, and a lot of North American countries. Do they have to sign the NDA before downloading the client at all? Or is it one of those things where you log into the client and the NDA comes up? Because if that's the case, then if it's for the North American stuff, it's not illegal then, because you could not agree to the NDA and still have access to the files, and they're the ones that made the files publicly available at that point. So if I don't know if it is, but if it is possible to download the beta client and then never log in and never accept the NDA, and then you use like other tools to extract the information from those files, you're not breaking any laws there at that point. I would imagine though, if they have any brains, they make you sign the NDA before getting access to the download. But who knows? They might not. And in China and Japan and everywhere else that Genshin is popular, because I guess it's in almost every country now. They have different laws for these things. So. But I really do have to stress that terms of services are not legal documents. A lot of companies try to act like they are, but a terms of service is just not a legal agreement or at all. Like, that is not what those are. But if you do break a terms of service, that company is well within their rights to ban you. They can't throw you in jail, they can't fine you, they can't blow up your computer, they can't do anything like that, but they are completely within their legal bounds or whatever to ban you. Generally, though, a private company can ban you off their service for no reason at all because, they're a private company and can do that. That's something a lot of people, you see this all the time in like COVID, freak out videos and stuff where people, they don't understand or even before COVID, just people don't understand private property. You'll see people like in a McDonald's that they're acting like jerks, they're insulting employees, they're swearing and everything, and so the company refuses them service, and they act like the company can't do that, and then they get so surprised when the police show up and escort them out, and it's like they act like it's public property. It's like, no, if you're in like a McDonald's or whatever, that is a private business, and they can refuse you service for any well, not any reason, but almost any reason. If you can prove that it's like prejudice based or racism based. Then you can't refuse service for those kinds of reasons. But if you're being rude, or they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna close early because we just feel like it. Literally, they're a private company. They can do that if they want, right? And if you're swearing like a sailor or whatever, they're allowed to just refuse the service. So many people don't get that, and they freak out and they're like, oh my god, you have to serve me. It's like, no, they don't. They literally do not have to accept your money. They don't have to do that. But yeah, that's like, I see that all the time where people just literally don't understand how private companies work. It's so weird. Okay, what are we doing now? Only on turn 4. We're going kind of slow here. This is a weird turn. I think we actually Star Bomb, even though we'll lower our Star Absorb, we just use the other skill. I like have too many options this turn. Okay, definitely doing that first. I kind of need to heal. I guess we're not using Quick then, that sucks. Bad luck on that one. You know what we might want to do? We might want to put, we might want to put the heal on the art and put put Merlin on the art one and the heal on Quick. $1,000 left. Lobo, please. So even though I don't need the battery necessarily because we might get attacked and get it, I'm just doing that because Mash is going to die soon and I want to make sure Yan doesn't explode. Definitely feeling the lack of survival, but we've had plenty of units here with lack of survival and they not get this messed up. Yeah, he's doing fine. I can say he's doing totally fine. I feel like I'm misplaying a little bit. It's kind of hard. He's one of those units that it's easy to like doubt yourself when you click a button. That is really unfortunate that Hans died there because Hans was about to get his 3rd skill back. Honestly, we're getting worse RNG than most units get on this stage. They should still be fine though. I wish Nash could have NP'd. She never got to NP. That'd have been helpful to have like the attack buff here. Does Lobo clear his debuffs? I think he does. Can you break his health bar? That's unfortunate. My boy's not embarrassing himself anymore, indeed. Yeah, I think this buff is pretty great. I think it's pretty solid. I mean, he still has the negatives of he's got absolutely terrible survivability, but he does have really good damage for a Forster now, I would say. And it's pretty easy to use it, and he can enable a fellow DPS, which is 30 kill if you want to. It's quite flexible like that. Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy with this buff. I think he's totally solid now. I tell you though, I don't think I'm ever gonna make another 4-star Toolist video, but if I did, I would have to test the hell out of him compared to other units to figure out where I'd put him on the tier list. It's very hard. The competition's pretty fierce, and there's just a lot of things to take into account. 74 stars, yeah, I needed that. We might lose though, but it is absolutely not Yan's fault. I mean, literally, this is just objective. I mean, normally we don't beat this with the other units until, turn 12 to 17 even. And normally our supports live that. Our supports are just getting shredded here. So that's just not Yan's fault. That's just bad. Lobo's critting a lot again. And I will say, it is in, 100 Face's favor. 100 Face actually protects your supports because she basically guarantees your supports will never get crit. And things like that. But we've used a lot of units here that do not help the team survive, and our team still survived longer than this. This is like the quickest I've seen my team evaporate here. Artemis is not weak, it's just she's only shines when in her niche. Outside of her niche, kinda It's not terrible, but nothing fancy. I'd say Moriarty needs it though the most. I think Moriarty is definitely the worst 5-star archer. Wow, you've never been spooked by Yan? Feels bad. That means if you've been spooked one time, which is not a rare occurrence for a 4-star, you would have NP5 right now. Okay, damage output wise, I'm pretty happy with this. The one reason we might fail is we are running out of gas rapidly on our supports. Like on turn 9 of all things. Maybe David was the wrong call though.
強くアタック
I almost went invulnerability this turn. Think it's okay. We got the heal. I think default would have been better though for him. The attack up on the right turn could be pretty great. Probably wait one more turn to taunt then. Let's see how this works. I've never really used it this way. I want to see. That definitely cancels it out. That's flexible, man. I like that. You have the ability to just like use his third skill, let someone else crit, or if you want to use it for himself, it is possible. Little wonky though, but shame. I almost didn't want to NP here, but I want to get the buffs. But the reason I wasn't sure I wanted to NP is, and we just failed the 90% crit. Lobo's got his ginormous defense buff. That probably wasn't worth it, especially because we didn't crit. The whole reason I did that was because of crits. And then Lobo crits me. Let's see how it is. Down to the wire here. So Artemis is extremely good in her niche, but kind of whatever outside of her niche, where Moriarty is just bad all the time. Well, I wouldn't say bad. You know, he does have 5-star stats and all that, but he's meh all of the time. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad if Artemis got it. I think the fair thing to say, I do think Moriarty deserves it more. He really is not in a good spot, and he has no niche. But Artemis is still kind of eh. So I don't think there's no harm done either way. So I'm not going to be upset either way. I mean, personally, I want Moriarty to get it just because he needs it more, and I like Moriarty more. But I'm not going to be mad either way. They both deserve it. Now, what will kind of annoy me if it's like, you know, Ishtar or Gilgamesh or that, something like that. That wouldn't be the best. I like how we keep getting our defense removal on turns that he doesn't have defense buff. I mean, Moriarty, because he is a 5-star, you know, he does okay. You know, he's got okay nuking ability, and he can get his MP somewhat quickly. You can like double MP if you want to set it up. It's a little underwhelming, and then when you have 3-star archers that are just so good, there's not much you're not like, wow, I'm so glad I have Moriarty, right? It's like he's not going to be performing much better, if better at all, compared to the 3-stars. I wouldn't be shocked if there is one limited, just because they're like, oh yeah, it's a limited, we probably won't going to give a rate up to anyway, right? So there could be an exception like that. You know, again, people see patterns sometimes where they don't exist, so... Well, we're definitely going to win because we've still got the evade. Qin Gong's going to show up as another taunt. We still have the invulnerability. We're going to win. This was absolutely, though, not Yan's fault. The issues we've had here are purely from our supports dropping so fast. By the way, Lobo is actually a dragon. I think this is the first time we've had George NP against Lobo, because we don't give him starting NP, we don't prioritize his arc cards in any way. And again, no starting NP, so this is actually quite the opposite. I think this is he won faster than a lot of the other assassins did, and that's with bad luck. Like there is no world where this run was good luck. This was absolutely not good luck. This was quite good. I'm gonna reset now. We've obviously won. Because again, we got evade, invulnerability, we got taunt, we got damage, we got defense up. Like we're just totally fine. I only have 17k health left. I never want to risk losing this stage because it's I'd be very sad to not have it. Yeah, he did great. I think for damage with how that luck was. Because imagine if Hans didn't die. Normally, very much most of the units we've used, they've gotten to use Hans's buffs twice at least. That means 2 crit ups and 2 the star gen. If we had got another Hans third skill off, That's a lot more star gen. That's more crits with the crit buff. I mean, we definitely could have won faster if Hans didn't die so quick. So yeah, I'm very happy with them. All right, we went to Shiki and the snake here now, and then we'll go use Yan on some like CCC fights and whatnot, just to kind of mess around. All right, there's the snake. Is Shiki in the all slot or is she just not slotted yet? All right, we'll just wait a second. I want to do Shiki just because we have done the snake here. We have not done Shiki here in either ever or in just a really long time. Oh yeah, Shiki has armor ignore and pierce invulnerability, and that's nice. And you might say, oh, that's kind of unfairly favoring her, but those come up decently often, and it's kind of like Lobo is so dangerous because of his crits that obviously favors 100 face with the massive crit down. Crit down is also though always good, so overall I think it's fine. I guess we gotta give Shiki some command codes. Eri, maybe I don't know, I'll leave it up to you. We could give Shiki like some more average command codes to just kind of offset that she's grailed more, but I guess not. We shouldn't do that because we used a really strong Ushi, we used a really strong 100 face and all those things. We'll just keep in mind that Shiki's going to be a little bit more upgraded stat-wise than Yan is. Oh, right. Right, your Shiki is on an A. We don't have Super Shiki on JP. I don't know. Do I have this fight on NA? Does she have her NP buff though on NA? That's the question, because that's what's relevant, is if she has her NP buff on NA. Because Hans has his buff, so that's fine. And I've got, Hans maxed over there. So, she does? I mean, if I have it on A, sure, we might as well test it over there. I have no idea if I have it or not, though. I feel like I don't, but I'll check. I'm almost positive that I don't. Unless someone in chat here has a really good Shiki on JP, we'll have to check. I have my Shiki, who is 10-10-10, but she's level 80. I know other people on JP have really good Shikis, but then it just may not be online right now. I've got 90 Shiki. All right, fair enough, because Yan was 90, so that's fine. We'll do that. I'll check in A later though, because I'm curious to use maximum Shiki there. People of culture, indeed. The only reason mine's not grailed is just because of Eri, really. But yeah, because Eri doesn't have... I might grail her now, actually. I might throw 2 grails her way, because I'm a huge Shiki fan. She's awesome. Like, one of the few... It is so rare that I really like main characters. It is unbelievably rare, but she's one of the few main characters out there that I like, so... And she is good. Although I don't mind having an 81 to just kind of show the vanilla... Shiki experience, right, and show how good she is at 80, because she is also really fucking good at 80. Oh, do Snake White get her up? Okay. Let me start it so the command codes don't go away, because you're gonna have to switch the command codes. Hold on a second then though, because I gotta do art stuff. Now, art teams are always just better here. That's another... I gotta say, now the more I think about it, I really am impressed with Yan there, because seriously, Quick is just so much more scuffed here than art. Like, so much so. And he did that well, so... Oh, 90 Shiki's on a different account? Okay, I don't have to worry about it then. I might not even need George. The question is, do I use Hohenheim? He's good with that. Could do that. I might be putting Mozart off too long that way, though. Like, you want that damage. This is where Kurotsugu would be nice. I would start with Mozart, and I'd have Kurotsugu taunt him on the NP turn. That would be really good. That would be really good. Slight part of me wants to do this, but the last time we put Hohenheim in the front row, I regretted that immensely. However, she does really synergize with what he does. But holy crap, I don't want another Hohenheim living forever. That's so unlikely, though. Like, that's so unlikely. Is this worth it? I'll do it. We'll see what happens. I'm a little concerned I'm throwing right now. I'm sure we'll still win, but I may be messing her value up. Sadly, NA is gonna have to wait a while. You get animation updates early all the time, but you definitely don't get buffs early. I would say rightfully so, but it is annoying. She's actually Robotnik, apparently. Do I want to art chain and then apply the attack down? Yeah. Get the ball rolling. Honestly, this round of buffs, I'm very happy with. I have to say, it's been this is actually one of the only times I have seen DW just do really like good buffs for the most. I mean, Kojiro's is a bit suspect, but he's still a 1-star though. I don't think there's any world where it's bad to buff a 1-star just because they're so behind, especially a DPS. A DPS 1-star is just so behind that it's okay if Kojiro is a god tier skill set. But I just wouldn't have buffed them before. I would have buffed Charlotte first, right? That's the main thing. And I would have buffed 100. God no. Curse Arm. I would have buffed Curse Arm first. But overall, this has been one of their best rounds of buffs. You know, they've all made sense. I just wish Rama's buff was bigger, or they literally did a double whammy. I'd love for them to do that. When they know a unit needs a lot of help, buff their NP and buff a skill. Because that's what Rama needs to keep up with Tunican, is he needs to get both. So, but yeah, overall, this has been a very good round of buffs. Fucking 96%. Oh my god, if I could have NP'd here. This sucks. This super sucks. Because now, if I NP next turn, I won't have any art cards to use the art up and the NP gain up and everything. I should have done the art up last turn then. That would have, you know what? No regrets. Just abso-fucking-lutely. I'm whipping, look at all that NP gain I'm whipping, but I don't even care. I don't even care. Because I'll just use her battery. Using her battery there would have been a lot worse than using Mashes, because Mash isn't going to need it later. So now I'll use her battery next turn. The mistake I made though is I should have done if I was gonna do that, I should have done it last turn. Either battery. If I was gonna use either one of their batteries, I should have done it last turn because it's the same thing. It's just the cooldown would be lower. So that's definitely a mistake. But I didn't think it was gonna work out that way. I thought I'd get my MP there. You know, I probably should have art chained with Mash just to get Mash or MP, because that's another art card that I could use later to help get my MP again, and also the attack up. Okay, Hohenheim is actually dying. This is good. I can NP again if I want to. He's only got one card though. I'm doing it. Gas, 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 gas. Guess we're getting those debuffs going. Honestly, that amount of curse damage is practical. That's enough damage. That is a practical thing that's happening there. Now, it's not like, holy shit, it's such a game changer, right? If you wanted to make the whole team comp around curse damage, then you're being impractical. But just the freebie curse damage you get, that's enough. That's an extra, you know, hit or two here and there. Definitely adds up. It's not bad. I want Mash's NP at this point. I'm hurting my own NP gain here, but got it anyway. Perfect. I'm guessing her crit down is 20% like a normal person. Why? Seriously, somebody explain this to me. Because 100 Face was what, added in Fate 0. Why? Why? Oh, 10%. Yikes. That's not the best. But it's better than nothing. I will absolutely take some, you know, because she normally has 2 of them up, 1 or 2 of them up. You know, I'll take 10 and 20% here and there. That's way better than nothing. But why in God's name does 100 Face have a 50% crit down that lasts 3 turns? If it lasted 1 turn, I would get it. I don't think there'd be anything weird about that at all if 100 Face's crit down was only 1 turn. But why in God's name does 100 Face apply a 50% crit down for 3 turns, and then she's a unit that gets her NP incredibly quickly and just keeps applying it? Why did they do that? Yeah, 10%'s pretty oof. I think Billy used to have a 10%, but they buffed it to 20%, thankfully. Because 20%, because most units don't have a super high crit chance anyway. So if you slap a 20% on them, it's like, yeah, this helps quite a bit. It's actually, you know, quite in your favor at that point. But 10% is like, and the 20% normally aren't quite enough when you're dealing with an enemy that has a very high crit chance. It's still better than nothing, though. But that's fine. You should have units that have, you know, some that are better and some are worse. Cersei's is 10%. Of course it is. Of course it is, because, you know, Cersei is so strong. You know, she's so powerful, though. Right, so surely, you know, they can afford to give her a weaker crit down to balance it out, you see. I mean, imagine Cersei doing something. Like, we can't have that now. So, Aerie, I was just saying how nice this round of buffs were, but you know what would make it better is if there was a 4-star caster among the buffs. That would have been nice. And hell, it wouldn't even have to be Cersei. It could be Shiba too. They both deserve it, big time. But yeah, that would have been swell. Maybe for the anniversary. The Anastasia, you know, she could use one too. 5K. And look, we got all these awesome cards, and they're gonna go to waste now. We're really slowing Lobos. We're really slowing Lobos NP down with her first skill. I didn't do the art chain because I wanted to heal. And I was like, yeah, we'll get some overkill and whatnot. Oh my god, he clears the debuffs. That hurt so much. That hurt so much, dude. We had curse and we had curse up and oh, that sucked. Oh my god, that's like, I will say you can definitely see the difference though with the unit with survivability versus one without. Just a little bit of extra survivability here and there. You know, we're really no threat of dying here. Though if Hohenheim could fight the big one, I would appreciate. There's so much work to be done with casters. Fixing the assassins was actually pretty easy to do, because none of them were that bad, and you could easily see with like Yan, with just like adding a few, you know, fundamental type effects to them here and there, you can clean them up no problem. The casters just have problems on top of problems on top of problems. They're going to be very difficult to fix, unless they want to throw out some like really outlandish buffs, which they don't do very often. Man, Mash, if I had cast the battery on turn 1, I could cast it again, and I could just give my DPS 20% more battery right now. And sure, I could use it on herself, but that's not worth it. Mistakes, it can really matter. Thankfully, I crit, so I got my NP anyway. But if I hadn't crit there, I would have needed the battery. Hohenheim is living too long, though. If you're gonna have a caster live this long, you prefer it to be Hans, because Hans has got it's only a 5-turn cooldown on his 3rd skill and stuff. So at this point, I want Hohenheim to live 1 more turn, so he can use his buffs. Then I want him to die. The problem is, if I use her NP, that puts skill seal on him and he's going to triple attack. So I would have to do like invulnerability, which I don't exactly want to do. Also, Hans has no defense buffs going right now. This is an awkward turn, but like I don't want to miss out on all of that value if he just dies this turn. We could triple NP this turn. That's kind of a waste of her cards, though. But it does allow us to do the attack down and get a defense up. The problem is then we heal Hohenheim, and he might just keep living. Okay, this is what I want, Hans. I need you to miss the defense buff on Hohenheim. That would be swell. I like how twice I've used Hohenheim, unironically, completely unironically, I've used Hohenheim's NP to ping off the evade. Because all I care about is, I just want the attack down. It does like 8k damage or something in this fight. Like, who cares? So, yeah, I'm totally happy to like, I value MASH getting more, like earlier on turn 1 I think is when I did it. I valued MASH getting more NP gain for being later in the chain than getting the NP damage off the evade, right? And that wasn't a mistake. I think that was the correct play. It's just the NP damage is so bad that like I just don't care. Oh my god, Hohenheim, please just. He might live now. He could stabilize from here if he gets lucky. Hopefully he doesn't get lucky. That's the trick. If Hohenheim lives one more turn, I could get his NP again. It's not too bad. But I don't really need the attack down. I'd rather he die. Come on, just hit him again. Just hit him again. There you go. Good dog. That's a good Lobo right there. Taking the bitch out. Beastly, did you just grail Shiki to 100? Did that just happen? I'm not complaining, and you know, good taste, but the evil has been defeated. Yes. Oh man. All right, let's see how much we do here. I gotta be a little careful in case I don't think we'll kill him here. We don't have that many buffs. I tell you, I wish this was Mozart. I should have put Mozart here. Mozart, I think, is behind George. That should have been Mozart. We could win this turn if that was Mozart. I'm positive. Because we would get the art up and we could guarantee crit, and we'd have the Buster crit with the Pearson vulnerability to get past the evade, then we'd NP, then we would crit again. And seriously, Mozart is a 44% art up. And hell, I could have given his Bond CE and made it 64%. Like, if that was Mozart instead of George, we definitely would win right there. So, bit of a mistake. Of course I should have known to do it that way though, because art can be more gas. I don't need as much survivability really. Because not only would this NP do quite a bit more damage and get more refund, the art card following it would do more as well. And that would have crit! That would have actually crit! And we had, oh my god. Yeah, we would have won, right? Easily, that art card actually critting, and then the art up for that card and the NP would have done 55k. Like, absolutely. I think we have the dot damage there. So if we had put Mozart there instead of George, we would have won. Okay, we win this turn though, the NP will kill. And even if it didn't, she has double art up and attack up. Or actually, no, she just has double art up. But she'll kill here. And if by some miracle she didn't kill here, the dots would kill. So it's over. She did very well. She did very well. And we could have actually won one turn sooner. Honestly, both her and Yan are just great. They're both great. They're both really fixed up. I mean, it's obvious. We're fighting an Avenger. We're not fighting a Writer. Like, seriously, we're fighting a fucking Avenger, right? So, that has gimmicks that are, you know, pretty obnoxious that slow your damage down and everything. So, yeah, they're both Yan and her. If you're fighting a Writer or you need them for a last man standing, she's way better for last man standing, though, because she's got evade. But, yeah, if there's a Writer that you need to deal with in an AoE fight even, because a budget teams a lot of times use single targets to take out key targets in AoE fights. They do that all the time. Like, I do that all of the time in, like, my videos and stuff. And so yeah, if there's a Rider that you need taken care of, I think they're both great picks now. So, like, sure, they're not like blowing 5 stars out of the water or anything, but they don't need to be blowing 5 stars out of the water, right? There are 4 stars, but they are totally performing as very solid 4 stars now. So I'm very happy. They're great now. Very good. We'll test more Yan in a minute though. We'll use Shiki here, and then we'll go use Yan in some CCC stuff just to kind of mess around. Now that stuff a lot of times will be a bit out of, you know, we're not expecting him to solo Cleopatra, right? Like, no way. But we'll just see how he does, because why not? That's a nasty one. You know what? Let's just do that. Let's see if this works. Do the same setup. Wait, Shiki though, I feel like Shiki doesn't like Hohenheim nearly as much. Am I crazy? I don't use Shiki a lot, so I don't have like a lot of personal experience with that, but like I know the game pretty well, and I just feel I don't think that's so great. She doesn't have a particular, I mean, it's okay. It's not like shit, you know, sure, art up's nice and MP gain up is nice, but I think Hans is better, and I think Hohenheim will just kind of sit around doing nothing. She doesn't have like the hit count to really capitalize on. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she'll get more MP gain than I'm thinking, and it's totally fine. But yeah, I feel like Hans is better. I think you just want some crits, you just want some, you know, kind of more straightforward value. I might go no George at all. And I think can we win in that? That's a bold thing to do because it is risky. Where if I bring George, we are going to win. But basically, I think she has enough survivability to damage to not need another taunt. Do I think that's the case? What I could do is just throw George in there and have him taunt immediately and not even use him to block the NP. And then just have him NP charge on death or something. Or even his ball in CE. That's a safer play. Yeah, it's actually, that's a pretty unironic CE. It's very useful. It keeps your team costs down and very useful. Now, what I should do, I don't know if this account has it, but if this, you could give her Demonic. Demonic would be fine here. Because her overcharge is decent enough. I'm undecided about George, or like if I want to taunt wall at all. I might just like, I'm kind of thinking going gas, and just see how it goes. I feel like Shiki's got what it takes for that to work. That's risky because he might show up. I'll do the other one. I don't want him to show up and have it be a bad turn to use his skills and then die before it is a good turn for him to use his skills. I'm just a little worried he's actually going to live too long with that. Oh yeah, if you have a Grail Hans, you want long-term stuff, like 100%. The only exception to that is if the fight is like burst or get out, because if you want, because Hans can be an okay burst support. He's not the best one, but he's not bad. If you give him Demonic and you just NP third skill, first skill, that's some pretty nice burst support. You know, you get some NP gain for the unit, you get Star Gen, you get some crit up. You know, then his effects are stronger because of Demonic. And some fights, they're just, you know, they're burst or get out, and it doesn't matter if you're Grailed or not. I don't know if this is a good opening hand or not, because I kind of want that art card later. Like, if I could crit right now, this would be great, but I can't. Wait. Her battery is 30%? Right? Let me make sure on that. I'm pretty sure it's 30%, because, you know, it hurts her, so yeah, it's 30. Okay, we're in NPing turn 1. It's totally worth. I almost wanted to not use my first skill though, just because we've already got Pierce of Vulnerability on our Buster. Maybe I'll do Quick Art then, just to get more NP gain. Yep. That's what's nice about Shiki is she can turn 1 NP with just basic fit stuff. So Hohenheim might have been better because of that hand. Now on average you're not gonna get a hand like that, but because we did art and the quick, that would have been pretty awesome if we had Hohenheim there. Am I gonna go for a double Hans NP or not? This is the turn where I have to decide. He's only got the one art card. If it crits, nah, it's not worth it. I think we do this. I'm not going to cast it this turn, though. I'm probably going to cast it next turn. Well, actually, I'll probably cast it next time Shiki gets an art card, which is next turn. Although art chaining there for Max actually would have been fine, too. Okay, we don't have Pierce Invulnerability anymore, but we do have Armor Ignore, so I don't mind that he has that. However, I got the 100% art crit. Oh, this is tricky. So many things that I want to do this turn. Okay, I think what we do is we just assume Hans wouldn't have landed the attack buff anyway. I want the first card art bonus, though. Oh boy, this is a bit wonky. Yeah, the Amakusa CE is kind of amazing in long fights, especially with Castoria. Now, there's a lot of units. Castoria is an abnormal case, right? There's a lot of units where it's really not that great, and you're not going to be able to live that long, or the fight's not long enough, because a lot of units with 0 starting NP just don't go anywhere, right? And the fight's almost over by the time they get their NP, and it's like, this is so not worth it. I think for like a lot of budget setups, Demonic is way better. But there are circumstances where maybe you're fighting Guadia, so your NP gain is just, you know, flying. You are using Castoria or Waver for someone else to get their NP, things like that. There are plenty of circumstances where that Amakusa CE is just it's just amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing, and it's certainly good for Castoria because it just means she's giving you protection from arrows like all the time, which is stupid as fuck. And then she can afford to have slower NP gain at the start. Now, in some fights it might be wrong, right? Like in some fights the burst damage coming out of the boss might be so high that it's not the right move. But I think in a lot of times it is totally fine. Well, I would like to not use Hans's NP, but Mash is unfortunately getting fucked up faster than usual, so I kind of need to. But Shiki's got the Pierce Invulnerability again. There's just no winning with that right now. We'll use this for an NP gain turn. Okay, please land the defense up on Mash. She's having a bad time. There we go. I think he missed the defense up on Shiki. No, he missed the Star Gen up. That's not a big deal. Although, if there was ever a turn I cared about the Star Gen buff, it was that turn, because I was doing double quick. Can't quite NP. There's no point using my third skill, because if I use it, I'm gonna get my NP next turn no matter what. Oh, Hans didn't land the defense buff on himself, and that actually sucks, because if he did, he probably would not, there would not be much of a chance of him dying this turn, but because he didn't, there is a definite chance he could die this turn, and that'd be him dying one turn before getting his third skill back. And the turn after, we're going to taunt with Mash. A little awkward here. Ooh, boy, that could have been a bad turn. That could have been a really bad turn. Oh my god, Shiki, you're at 98%. What are we doing here? Well, I guess I am using my third skill, which means I should have done it last turn, because then the cooldown would have been shorter. This is where knowing your units really well can get you some extra value. I don't really need to do her art up, but, you know, we want the damage, I guess, so... I don't want to do this. So I have Pierce Invulnerability, so I guess we mash NP art. I'm loving that she has Armor Ignore, by the way. I hope he gets a buff, Aerie. It's kind of depressing. He's not bad. He's not bad, but he's not good either. Yeah, it's true. He has no competition. There's really no single target art writers. We didn't break there, damn it. You know who else has armor ignored? Phantom. Yep, he's so good, guys. Guys, should we use Phantom here at some point? Just to see, like to make the. I mean, he's AOE, so it's not even the right time for him, but still. There's some AOE units we could use here that would do fine, like Canis and whatnot. I'm casting this now because I don't want him to die. We don't need the crit up this turn, but... 90% chance to crit. He's got the defense buff though, so let's be sure we're gonna break here. I wanted that Archchain, but I was also a coward. I got it anyway, nice. Nice damage nerf. Give me an art card, yes. What's the play here? A lot of options. I almost want to nod Han's NP and see if he can just happen to live one more turn. Do I do Shiki's crit buff? We're not doing a... There's no Buster card involved. I'm thinking no. Ricky is such a good unit, man. I'm so glad he's a thing. Nice alternative to Ushi, and you can work together as well. And actually balanced, feels good. I would like him to get an NP upgrade though, just to keep up with Ushi a little bit better. But overall, I'd say things are fine for him. Now, I'd love to save Hans' NP for an Archchain, but that's not gonna happen. 資料集めにはことかか損なうたびに思い出すがいいメルヘンマイネスレーベンス RNG drains do fucking suck. It's not entirely true that you can't plan around them. If you got like the strongest team ever and you have multiple survivability options, you can use your survivability in both turns, but that's like whale or get out, so not really a fan. Yeah, RNG drains really suck. Like, do I use my survivability this turn or next turn? And like, you can say, oh well, you could just wait to use the NP until next turn, but a lot of times that can be a huge, and sometimes you can do that and it's not a big drawback, but that can just like crush you sometimes. Figure put Mozart in there just in case he gets his NP. You never know. I wish that had crit. I have no other art cards, but her battery comes back. This is shaky. I guess I just NP, I use my first skill anyway. It just kind of sucks because we don't have a lot of stuff to capitalize on it. Well, it looks like we're getting Mozart's NP. You know, when I think about it, Ari, hard survival on like the budget writers or just the one, you know, in welfares and I guess 1 to 4 star, they don't have a lot of hard survival. They have some. You got Antoinette. You know, she's got a lot, but she's not a damage dealer by any means. And you've got Ushi. That's not a lot. And Antoinette's not a boss killer by any means. Like, holy crap. Yeah, George. And maybe they'll buff his. Oh my god, I should have held my NP. I should have held my NP. Look at this fucking turn, dude. You're killing me, game. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh my god, this sucks. What have I done? I kind of wanted to double NP. We could get double attack down and then the NP down. I may pay for my lack of taunts though. We'll see. We have guts, thankfully. Sometimes Antoinette just tanking, it just like lowers the enemy damage output enough that she is helping. But yeah, like for example, Ku gets a hell of a lot more done than she does. She is way better now though. That's right, they buffed her though. I think she's pretty good now. Let me bring her kit up. I wish I like had my own that was 10-10-10 and I didn't mind sacrificing the mats, because I think you could show off some pretty crazy stuff with her, because now that she's been buffed, she gives the team 20% attack up for 3 turns. That's good. She's got charm that works on anything. It doesn't have to be even humanoid. It can be anything. It can be like a robot, a dragon, whatever. And because of her buffs, debuff success chance up, she's guaranteed to charm. She actually goes over 100%, so you can deal with some magic resist too. Then obviously she has absolutely nutty survivability. Not as much as Ku, but still a lot. And then her NP is now upgraded, and it removes debuffs, and it gives the team a crit buff for 3 turns. And it heals the team. Like, ultimately, she's actually a support, and the support she gives is quite a bit of healing, removes debuffs, crit up, attack up, and then you don't have to, worry about her living. She'll live to keep doing support stuff if you want her to, and then you can just not cast those skills if you want her to die, and stun. That's pretty damn solid. I think she's pretty swell these days. Yeah, she's not like the best 4-star in the entire game, but that's a lot. I mean, attack up, crit up, heal, debuff removal, like that's all pretty swell. I think the one thing she could use is a battery so she can get that NP quicker if you need that debuff clear on demand. I think her NP gain is actually pretty decent off memory. I think she has like a 1% gain rate. Her hit counts are obviously low. I think it's like, so her gain rate's like okay-ish, but she has no battery, none of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, definitely not like some god tier unit, but totally fine. All right, let's see. Definitely this. We might win right here. I'm gonna do slow-mo in case we do win right here. I'm not super confident we're gonna win right here, but wouldn't shock me if we did, so I don't think we will. We'll be kind of close though. I used her a bunch around when she got buffed, but I haven't used her much since. Only a little bit. And she does okay damage too, because she does have an upgraded NP and she does have the attack up, so. But yeah, she definitely is she's an odd unit, but I kind of like her, to be honest. I think it's a pretty fun kit. When she first was released though, I don't think she was that good. I really don't. Like she didn't have the upgraded NP, she didn't have the attack up, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we didn't win, but we're quite close. Lobo, why you gotta be like that? Well, we're not getting much done this turn. I like how we've got the Star Bomb, but Shiki has no cards. So, that's a shame, because even with a quick crit, I could probably NP next turn with my battery skill. Okay, I'm not going to be that greedy. We'll do it like that. I'm just doing this for the attack down. Oh, getting a little shaky here. All right, we have David. Now we're fine. Although the deck shuffling here could be a problem. Thanks, game. So the main reason we're really slowing down at the end here is just RNG. I mean, we're just getting bad luck. We're not able. Easily, we could have killed him by now, but we're just not really getting anything to work with. We might kill him here. I don't think so, but is it worth it putting that in first place just to get the third hit in? I'm gonna say yes. I forgot to put in slow-mo. David, no. David killed it. Wow, okay. David bonk, good. She did fine though. The only reason she slowed down at the end there, that was just RNG. So I think she did great. It's like the 4-star assassins are doing really good now. Okay, let's go to the main account and let's do some CCC stuff with Yan, and then we can just do whatever the hell we want. I'm telling you, man, that boss is phenomenal though for just like overall unit value testing, because you can test supports there too easily. You can easily test support. We kind of min-maxed the budget setup that works there for like the supports with a few changes based on card type. So it'll be fun if we ever want to like, yeah, we'll just bring a standard DPS that we know works, and we'll switch Hans out for like a new support or whatever. I'm sure we'll get to do that at some point. Like surely they're gonna add new budget supports from time to time. Yeah, it's a great team boss because everyone's at neutral, and you know it's kind of harder when you're at neutral, and then very hard as a solo test. You got to be a really damn good unit if you want to do a solo for that fight. So it's just a great fight to have around. What I really like about it is it rewards so many different things, because you know buff removal is gonna be good there, crits down is gonna be good there, pierce vulnerability is good, you know armor ignore is good, debuff clear or buff clear is good. It doesn't reward everything, like you know debuff clear is not good because there's no debuffs there, but it does a lot of stuff for you. It's quite nice. Hell, I'm moving my phone. Okay. Yeah, Arthur's got some good music, man. Do we fight Cleo first, or is that? Yeah, okay, let's do it. This is mean. Hardly anyone beats this at neutral. It's only like the big boys, but we'll see how he does. Honestly, these are pretty good command codes for this. We got the defense up clear because she's got that, and we got the pierce vulnerability. The one change we might want is maybe like the attack down or the attack up removal, just because when she gets the attack up, it's crazy. But almost no one we'd use here. We almost never give them the attack up removal, so this is totally fine. There's no way we're living long enough to use Atlas. There's just no fucking way, so I'm gonna do default. Unless we got crazy lucky, I guess. Oh, one of these days we're gonna get a prototype anime. Totally forgot about the debuff though. Maybe we do want Atlas, we'll see. Depends on how much damage that does to us in the long run. There is a world where maybe we do get value out of Atlas here, so it might be the right pick. Yeah, there's been a lot of quick resist down, but yeah, Quetz didn't have one. And I highly doubt Extra Vlad is gonna get a resist down. I think he's just gonna get attack up for lawful or something like that. Maybe an attack up with the lawful attack up or something, but we'll see. Pretty shitty luck that we didn't get our NP in time. Like, what the hell? Might reset because of that. It's so likely for him to get his NP in time here. It's gonna be a pretty big knock to our value. I think these command codes are fine. I mean, if you want to quickly like ninja change one for something you think will be better, go for it. But these seem perfectly reasonable for what we're doing. I can't decide if I want Atlas or not. It is nice to get rid of the burn. It's not necessarily going to buy you a turn, though. His skills are 5, 5, 6. I mean, it's just hard to live that long here. Cleo hits like a truck. I'll try it. We'll be ballsy. If we get lucky, it's definitely better. It's just... I feel like default is going to have a better average, but Atlas is probably the better peak, which is normally how it goes. Unless you're a unit that easily... There's some units that just... Atlas is just their best no matter what, really. Although even Ku, every once in a while Ku doesn't use Atlas. Sometimes default is better for him. It's not common, but it does happen. Well, if I had to whiff that command code, this is the turn I'd want to whiff it on. You know, Dark Souls boss music actually works for Cleopatra when you're fighting her at neutral. She's pretty intimidating. Like, you can just have the health bar pop up, it's fine. Do I do his quick up because we're using Atlas? Our crit chance is crap, that's the problem. I'm gonna do it though, I want the star gen. I think that's okay. And I also want the NP gain. I can make 50 stars here if I want. We gas. I mean, the sooner we use Atlas, the better, because we have so few turns of survival here. I'm really glad Cleo got a buff. It was a long time ago, but that was like all she needed to really like come into her own and be a really, really good unit. And I mean, buff block on AoE is awesome, and then she just has good straight value too. I think Cleopatra is a really underrated unit. Like, she's really, really good. Thankfully, this enemy Cleopatra doesn't have the buff block. Ooh! Thank you, high hit count. Heal boost would be nice on this turn, but we take what we got. I have her on NA. That's the only account that I have her on. And I have her because I was just throwing a few, and I must stress a few summon tickets at Extra Vlad. And I ended up getting her twice. I think I do like 15 tickets, and I got Cleopatra twice. I was just like, okay, sure. Why not? Okay, there's the debuff clear, which is very unfortunate for us because all that quick down. Oh my god. Cleo, please! Cleo, please! Fucking one turn! Like, no mercy, just death. Boss fight over. We dead. Okay, let's try a different fight at neutral and see how we do. We run from those. What about Siegfried? He's a pretty standard one if you're not a dragon. If you're a dragon, then it's pretty damn spicy at neutral. I'm really glad that Ku can solo that without the Yang CE, because yeah, it's tough. I gotta say though, I'm very happy with this buff for Yan. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, he's not the best assassin in the game, but he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be. It's fine. And he's really, really good now. I'm really liking it. It's just fun, too. The only thing I don't like is, a lot of times now, I think you do end up clicking all three of his skills at the same time, which is a little silly sometimes, but, well, not in team play, though. Actually, I think in team play, you have a lot of decisions to be made for, when to use what skill, especially because of the synergy he has for, like, helping a teammate out. The art CC isn't useful anymore? Oh shit, yeah, it's not. Damn. I should have said something. How about this debuff flare though? That's pretty good. Just in case we get lucky. Oh, here's some good music. I forgot I had the song on the playlist. So Beastly, this is, if you're still here, this is the version from that PS3 game. It's very similar to the one from the anime, but this it's actually a remix. Do INP, even though I don't have like the you know what? Let's do it. I wish I had a few stars. I wonder if it's worth using my other skills here. I can't. Star Bomb, I only have one card. That can't be worth it. I love that the grunts don't suck in Unicorn, and more than that, they don't feel like they're piloted by drones, right? Some of them are obviously brave, some of them aren't, some of them, like, you know, or like zealous, you know, some of them use like dual guns, some of them, you know, like they put effort into every grunt. Every time there's a grunt on screen, they're thinking about, okay, you know, what is this guy, right? They don't just like throw them out and have them die for no reason. What do we do here? Big crit turn. Got our crit buff. Don't really need Star Bomb here. I want the NP gain buff. 30%, I'm at 40. Siegfried's hit count is pretty meh. Yeah, we'll do it. Not crazy about how that just shuffled the deck, but well, that's not too bad. Do that. Yeah, Siegfried only casts defense up if you are a dragon. So I think we failed one of our crits. I was looking at chat, but I think we kind of failed one of our crits there, which is unfortunate with all that crit up that we had. Okay, now this is the turn to cast that. I need to heal. Oh, it's unquick. Okay, that works. We'll do that. Oh, Kojiro. He definitely got a hell of a buff. Shame I didn't loop there. That would have been kind of amazing. Can I break? I think we can. Yeah, we have double crit buff. Oh yeah, we break quite easily there actually. Okay, don't fucking one turn me now. And the game is not showing much mercy here. Very tough with no survivability. We would have died next turn, but we could have gotten one last big, you know, bap in with we had our buffs and everything, and we potentially could have crit there. We keep dying on the first turn of the break though. What makes Cleo so nasty though, she hits even harder, so that's more likely to happen, and she has invulnerability on break, so you have to like wait a turn. It's like a double break, it's awful. Alright, let's use Shiki. Now, she's level 100, so not exactly fair, but let's see what we get here. This is going to favor Shiki so much, I think, just because she has survivability. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to my Grails too. I think I have 3 Grails on my main right now, and I think I'm just going to hold on to them. There's several things I want to Grail a lot right now, but I want to just see what are we going to get. Like, what if they do add some 3-star that I love? You know, just check out what they add, and if they don't add anything I care about, then I'll just Grail the units I already have that I've been thinking about Grailing anyway. I kind of forget how many Grails I have. I'll check actually after this. Do we need our 3rd skill? I don't think so. So I know it's unlikely, and he doesn't. In no world does he need the buff more than like not easy. I mean, because Tesla. I like Tesla a lot, and I'm hoping he gets buffed because I want him to get rated up. That's what I'm getting at here. He doesn't deserve the buff at all. Tesla's a very good 5-star archer. He's not only is he like way better than Moriarty and Artemis, but he's also just good. But I would really like, this is not League of Legends music. I don't know why people always say stuff like that, like they're so confident, but like, why are you confident? Because you're wrong. So like, it's just confusing to me. Yeah, I've seen people say stuff like that before, and it's just weird, because if you're not really sure what the song is, right, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, I want Tesla to get a fucking rate up so I can get him in P2. But yeah, he is super strong. Tesla's a great unit, so he doesn't need it at all. I mean, it's not like League of Legends is the only game that has ever used this format. I mean, this is such a common format for video game soundtracks. Because it's retro. That's like, it's really common. Let's see. Do it like that. Yes, this is Brawl. I'm surprised somebody knew that. It's a pretty niche game. I love that game so much, though. And we didn't crit with any of that. Are you kidding? Why is it? What? Dex, what are you doing? Like, literally, Dex, why are you highlighting the top bar? Anyway, damn, he quick charged. That game is an absolute blast with friends, though. Basically, you play as 4 heroes, you start in a room, and because the heroes are shitheads, you instantly have to fight each other. It's not a PvP game, though. You only have 1 health, and you're all gonna die. So only one person is gonna be alive within like a few seconds, right? It's very silly how the quote-unquote PvP works there. But, so 3 of the heroes will die, and 1 is alive, and now he goes off into the dungeon and does things, and the other 3 are now ghosts, and they can, you know, knock pots over, activate traps, possess monsters, spawn their own monsters occasionally, all kinds of stuff. And if a monster kills the hero, they resurrect, and they start taking on the dungeon, and then that person is now a ghost. And the objective is to be the hero that's alive to kill the boss at the end of the game. But during the boss fight, the ghosts will fuck with you dramatically, and it's actually pretty hard to pull that off. Very fun game. Very fun game. It's designed in a pretty asymmetrical, kind of just like fun party format, like because you have 3 ghosts at once and everything. It's not like some super competitive game, but it's just fun. Like it's really neat, and like all the different monsters you can control get really crazy and stuff. Okay, what are we doing here? So we're getting NP'd. Really sucks we didn't crit earlier. I don't know, she might not perform much better than Yan because I think she's gonna get NP'd a second time and just die if the timing doesn't work out. And that game's Crawl. Does not have online co-op, unfortunately. You can use third-party programs to do that, but you can do that with any game. It's only got like couch co-op and whatnot. But if you can get a group of friends together to play it, it is a really good time. And thankfully, I've done that several times, and good stuff. Like, we're not in threat of dying to normal card damage too soon. The threat is just dying to the NP coming up because he's going to quick charge when he breaks. I will say Yan is surpassing her on overall damage though, like most certainly, and it's because of the crits. Have to heal here. Yeah, she's not actually related to Artoria. I guess that even before we knew, I guess that was the case so early on. I was so weird to me. Everyone took what Waver said as exposition when it so blatantly wasn't. It was like a guess. Like he didn't know what was going on, and it makes sense from me in his perspective. That's what he thought. Damn it! So I got both Shiki and Yan died right on the break, and they both had their NPs, and Shiki had more value left there, though. If either one of them had lived there, they both would have done a lot, but Shiki would have done more because Shiki would have evaded and then gone another turn. She's literally not related to Artoria. Like, they figure out what happens later. She's basically like a person that they modified to be like Artoria, or they tried to. Let me explain why it's really obvious she's not related to Artoria. Artoria's only child is Mordred, and Mordred dies and never has kids. That's it. It's over, right? There's no direct lineage to Artoria anymore because the only direct kin was Mordred, and Mordred died rather young. So you know that there's no room for them to be related, and they literally explain that she's not related later. She's just a village girl that village tried to. They want people to think she's related to Artoria, and they try to change her to be like Artoria. They like modify her to be more like Artoria and then they try to shove a piece of Artoria's soul in her, but they don't do a very good job, and you know, she ends up just being kind of a you know, vaguely similar to her, but not really, and she doesn't have that much of Artoria's soul in her. Now, literally none of the people that happen to look like Artoria are actually related to Artoria. It's a stupid art style thing. Like, they were literally afraid to make characters that they didn't think they could sell a game that didn't have Artoria in it, so they just made a bunch of people that looked like Artoria just to make money. They don't do that anymore, but that's what they used to do. That's where the whole Saberface meme came from. I'm so salty that Shiki died there, though, because she, you know, Yan had nothing left, right? So he was going to die next turn no matter what. But Shiki wouldn't have died next turn because she wouldn't have had her evade. So Shiki could have gotten about one turn farther than Yan there. But Yan would have done more damage in one of those turns, but Shiki had 2 turns, and in total would have done more damage. But Yan kept up all right there, just because, you know, his damage is really high. Yo, Kita's related to Artoria, let's go. Okay, well, I think oh wait, do we want to buff stack Yan? That's the one thing we haven't done. It's kind of awkward because, you know, again, I have to summon the DPS instead of summoning a support, but we should buff stack him real quick and see what we get out of him. I guess give him, fuck it, let's go Black Grail. Like, that's not the practical way to do this, but we'll do Black Grail. We've been doing that recently, so Ari, if you have a Black Grail, go nuts. And I guess if you don't, do Heaven's Feel or you know, whatever else gets up there. Yeah, that's true. He is a weird unit to buff stack because he's not really about the NP. He's about critting. He's about NPing and critting, right? Kind of like the medium. He's not like Billy. You know, Billy's mostly about the NP, but like, yeah, if you get crits, that's nice. You know, Yan's kind of the other way around, where he's even more about. He's like reverse Billy. Billy is NP first, crit second, which is funny. Everyone thinks it's not like that, but it is. Rian's kind of the other way around, where it's crits first and NP second, but the crits allow you to NP often, so it kind of all works out. Oh, you've got a level 100 one. I see you are aware of the memes here. Beastly, is yours 100 too? I think it is. Like, mine's 100, Ares is apparently 100. I wonder how many people, because, you know, you don't generally have that many 100 CEs, so kind of funny seeing people pick that. Okay, we're gonna have to twink the setup we used the other day because we're not summoning a Scatty. Because we can't summon anything. Well, I mean, we summon Yan, but, you know, that's not, Okay, what is the change here? What do we basically have to stand in a different support. That support is unlikely to be as good as Scatty, but we'll go with the best one we got. Let's see. There's obviously Matahari. Okay, we want, though, Bond CE to be out, so we don't want them to be an NP person. And unfortunately, unlike the art setup, we can't do the waiver thing where you wait a turn, because this buff only lasts one turn, so we can't do that. That's going to limit our options a good bit. So it can't be Asterios or Matahari, so that's two pretty big supports. Gonzo. My 100 Black Rails on NA, I don't even have an MLB on JP. Ooh, feels bad. That's surprising too. What's our best generic support then? Normally, I mean, Matahari's 40% without our NP. I'd be sad if that's the best we have, though. Because that's not great. If Caesar was 10-10-10, he's still actually less than that. Caesar's better if he's got his Bond CE, but we couldn't keep the Bond CE out because we have a different Bond CE that we need. Wow, is it going to be Matahari? Yeah, Chiron's not as much. Because he's not even 10-10-10, I think he's 9-9-9. It's rare that I would use Matahari if I'm not using her NP for the, because with her NP it's 60%. Waver's 30% without his NP. Yeah, I'm thinking it's Matahari. Huh. That's strange. But yeah, I'm not really thinking of anything that's better. I can think of things that are about the same, but not better. Okay, Matahari it is. The good news is we can use her buff success chance, although she doesn't need it because Vlad doesn't have... he doesn't have, what you call it, magic resist. But I'll do it anyway, just because. Completely unnecessary, though. I should probably give buff defense removal command codes to somebody, but maybe we get lucky and I don't need it. I hate having to respec command codes for stuff like this. I have to take them off Qin Gong and then on the other person. It's kind of a pain in the butt. And we have one defense removal command code on the one art card, so... Actually, I don't think Matahari deserved the buff. I think she deserves an animation update, but I don't think she deserved it at all. I think Matahari's a very good one-star, and people act like she's bad because they try to use her for charm and for star gen, when she's actually for, you know, support, for just damage. She just gives a bunch of... Yeah. She could use a buff, sure. I don't think she's like some god tier one-star, but I really don't think she deserved it any more than Kojiro. They're both good one-stars. You know, there you go. If anything, she's better than him. If they're not grailed, I would say Matahari is better than Kojiro, even now, because Kojiro is still a DPS that's a one-star with terrible stats. That's not good. That's just not good. And where Matahari doesn't need good stats, she doesn't need to be grailed, because she can give her support as, you know, a one-star, and it's fine. Giving the team 40 to 60% damage up is great. It's fucking amazing. And then she also can, on the side, potentially charm and stuff as well. That's overall, it's more useful than Kojiro is. I'm not hating on Kojiro. I don't, if you don't grail Kojiro, I don't think he's that useful. because you have access to 100 face. So it's like, why would you even need him, for God's sakes? Like, like if you like Kojiro, Kojiro can be good, absolutely. I'm not saying Kojiro is bad, but because Kojiro has a godly toolkit, and it's completely DPS oriented, but he's on the rarity that makes the worst DPS in the game. So it's not wrong to buff Kojiro, and I do not think Matahari needed it more. If anything, I think she needed it less. I'm pretty sure I would rate, before Kojiro was buffed, I would rate Matahari as a better unit than Kojiro. Like, easy. Fucking easy. I think Kojiro scales with Grails more than she does, and can become a better unit than her, sure. Because grailing her is almost pointless and does nothing. Or grailing Kojiro actually gives you like a really nice, solid, you know, kind of 4-star-esque unit with a really nice toolkit. Who was robbed was definitely Charlotte. Charlotte was the one that was robbed, because she is everything I just said about Kojiro applies to her too, but even more so because she's worse. Right? She's also a 1-star DPS, but she's still got worse skills and doesn't have an upgraded NP, and it just has worse survival for the most part, and it just, like, she's very much the one that got robbed. Now, where Matahari fans are getting robbed is just, she just hasn't gotten any attention in, like, 6 years. You know, no animation update, no buff, no nothing. Because it's not, I'm not saying don't buff Matahari, right? But there's no world where Matahari needed a buff more than Kojiro did. They're about the same, and if anything, I would say Kojiro needed it more. But that doesn't mean Kojiro really needed it. You know, Charlotte needed it. But Matahari is a, very solid 1-star. It's just, I think people want her to be something she's not. And fair enough, if they want her to have other options, that's fine, but that doesn't mean she's actually bad. Okay, we gotta do this. I actually don't have much battery on this team, I just realized. That might end up being a problem. Oh right, we're not doing a taunt setup because we're being greedy and we're trying to get that extra buff. Oh boy. RNG time. Way easier to put taunt on Alexander. But yeah, you lose out on 30% damage if you do it that way. We might have to do what we did last time and use Charm and Stun to just get Vlad's NP and then save Scum until we get lucky. He hasn't even hit Alexander. This game, man. But to be clear, so literally any 1-star DPS, which there's almost none of those, but any 1-star DPS, it's always fine to buff them. They're never going to be good enough, to be honest, at a 1-star rarity, really, because a 1-star DPS is just kind of, counterintuitive. But there are obviously some that need it more than others, and then like Kojiro does, again, scale well with Grails, but anytime they buff a 1-star DPS, I'm never going to be upset because they always need the help. But Charlotte, that applies to, and then she really needs it, so it's pretty weird that she didn't get it. Let's actually look. Where did I doubt I rated Kojiro that high on my tier list. Let me look. I bet you what I basically said was like, yes, he has a great toolkit, and if you do Grail him, that toolkit will translate very well. But, 1-star DPS is just stupid and you'll never use it over, like, 100 phase. I bet you that's what I said, because that just makes complete sense. So I bet you he's, like, B or C+. I would think B. Because he, if you want to use him, he can throw out okay DPS, but he doesn't, rock the boat. And, again, there's just no reason to use him over 100 phase, like, ever. Yep, I rated him as B. I rated him and Matahari both as B, but I rated her higher than him. I completely agree with that. I think that's completely correct. I think they're both kind of, because Matahari is better than him, but her niche doesn't come up that often. A lot of times you don't need that extra amount of, giant damage support, but when you do, she's really, really useful to have. I might actually say Matahari should be B+, though. She's kind of in an awkward place where, B or B+, I feel like is about right. I do think Asterios overall does definitely get used more than her, though. But she's close. It's gonna be interesting updating some of these. Like, I'm definitely gonna update the 1 to 3 star tier lists. I'm waiting for them to add new 3 stars. That's the whole reason I haven't done it. Because they've buffed a lot of the low rarity stuff. But yeah, hopefully Lost Vault 6 adds a new 3-star for God's sakes, and then maybe we get that Archer or whatever class they were. And then we got, because I want to throw in some new units if I'm gonna, you know, redo the 1 to 3-star stuff. Okay, it's NP time. We're gonna have to save Scum, so we just have to hope for the best here. Last time it took like 6 attempts for him to NP Alex. It was completely nonsense, but hopefully this time not so bad. See, cast my buffs. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I want to do as little damage as possible. They basically hinted though that that one unit is getting added as a 3-star. Was it Zufu or Jifu or whatever it is? They're almost certainly getting added as a 3-star someday. Well, that's a bad start. Like, they just giant ghosts are not silvers, right? They're never silvers. And the fact that that one was randomly silver, you know, and they had a weird class, I think that's pretty much confirming that's their class and that's their rarity. Like, the alchemist person, I think, what is it? I forget the name. It's like, I think it's like Zifu or Jifu or something like that. I can't remember. I know they're a famous alchemist from China. I barely remember anything else about them. I'm not super up to date on Chinese history, right? That's not my favorite part of history. I at least knew they were an alchemist, though. I at least got that down before they were even in Fate. But that was about it. But I'm pretty sure they were an archer when they turned into a giant ghost. And they were silver. So they're probably going to be an archer and silver. I mean, Antoinette Alter, I do think will get added at some point. I think both of them are going to get added at some point, but, you know, God, no. I mean, look at how long it has taken them to add some of the stuff they had intended to add since day 1, right? Like, Canis was designed day 1. Like, what the fuck, right? Like, I mean, it's just crazy. Proto-Gilgamesh was in the original data mine. Remember? The original data mine from day 1 that had Valkyrie in it? It had, like, all that crazy shit. That had Proto-Gil in it, and he's still not in the game, so... Alright, what's the first thing we do here for... I guess this, because it also lasts 3 turns, so... That was funny that people were like, oh yeah, they're gonna add the Valkyrie someday, and it took like 4 years or 3 years or something. And people didn't even know what Valkyrie was, because it's not a name. So people didn't really get it. I do think someday we are gonna get a prototype collab, but I think it's gonna be a while. I'm actually kind of pissed. I really was hoping it was gonna be this year, because I was like, yeah, you know, I thought, yeah, it was possible they would do Tsukihime. I thought it was totally possible they would do Tsukihime because potentially they've been working with Type Moon this whole time, and they were going to do like kind of a pre-story to lead into because that's what they're doing with Melty Blood, right? So I thought that might happen, and so I thought if Tsukihime is this year, then maybe prototype could be next year. And I was like, if they don't do Tsukihime this year, because that's also totally possible, and they wouldn't want to do it until the thing's actually out. I was like, oh, then man, maybe they're doing prototype this year. But nope, they're basically doing nothing this year. They're doing FGO X FGO, and next year is almost assuredly Tsukihime. Like, that's clearly going to be next year's collab. So we have quite a while for any chance of a prototype collab now, which I'm pretty pissed about that. Like, fucking FGO X FGO is just the stupidest fucking thing. Please don't cast Morph this turn. That's like the nightmares he NPs and then casts it. Is this a Hunter X Hunter thing? I know, right? Like, it's literally not a collab. It's just an event. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing the event if you want to focus more on the Walt stuff. That's fine. No big deal. But don't make it the fucking collab. That's just stupid. So, am I the only one that feels like we have really bad luck when it comes to doing this thing? Like, both yesterday and today, it's just not happening. No. Wrong luck. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Fucking Mona 3 times. Chat, people are saying that they think Bido is gonna be rated up soon. I wish that wasn't the case because I basically have to roll. I mean, Bido has my favorite gameplay in that game, and I want her next constellation so bad. So I hate to roll because, you know, I already rolled, and I've got like I still got a lot of SQ in that game, but I don't have as much as I did by any means. And I don't want to roll in Bido and then bam, like 2 months later they put in D-Luke or Gene or something, right? I'd be pissed. But I gotta roll for Bido. Like I can't not roll for Bido if she gets rated up. So I'm hoping that I like the new character. That would really help. Because that's the thing, I was really happy that we rolled earlier and we're on our hard safety net in that game. The next time I get a 5-star and get an impact, it is guaranteed to be the rate up. But if I roll for Bido, I could blow that and I could get the rate up, and then that means my next safety net is a 50-50, which would not be ideal. But I'm hoping that I just really like the new character, but I know literally nothing about her, and I certainly, gameplay-wise, I certainly don't need her because she's a fucking Ice Claymore user when I have a million Claymore users, and I've got Kaya, who's super strong, and Rosaria, who's pretty strong, and they're both ice units, so I have no need for her, but I'm hoping I just like the character a lot, and, you know, I'm okay if I end up getting the character, right? But yeah, I gotta get Bido. Okay, we're running out of save scum. I would like to save her other skills because I want to use them. Okay, this lasts 3 turns, so I can do that too. Yeah, this is pretty much our last save scum. The other ones I'd like to use next turn. While we're resetting potentially, Ari, would you mind slapping on those MP damage up command codes in case we just happen to get them on the NP turn? If you can't, if you don't want to, it's literally fine. It's not that big of a deal. We probably won't pull them anyway. Hey, Alex died. Yeah, I never blame somebody for not wanting to mess around with the command code UI. Save's coming, I know, right? Okay, let's see. He cast Morph. He fucking cast Morph. Oh, we're gonna have to reset because we don't have any of our defense removal. Got it. I'll put some on Scatty. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again. We'll use his NP real quick and just see. Oh, nice. That's right. That'll apply to the crit stuff too. Feels good. Dare I use her skill? Let's see if we can show off some Atalante stuff while we're at it. The Buster is the fun one, but we'll do the quick chain. I should have put it in slow-mo. It's hard to see crit damage in fast mode. Oh, that's right, quick resist down. Wow, that's pretty good for him having Morph and us having weaker buffers than we had before. That ain't half bad. And it'll get higher than that. It'll definitely get higher than that. Because, yeah, yesterday we were using stronger buffers because we had double Scatty. Hey, look, he can NP again. He could kill right now. He could kill right now, and then this NP would do more damage because, well, would it? No, it wouldn't. It'd do about the same. Because we gained the quick resist down, but we lost, oh, it would do less. We lost 2 quick buffs. We lost the 30% and the 50%. But it would still do a lot. Alright, let me slap some command codes on Scatty, so we can get rid of Morph. Because, yeah, we do less damage when he has defense up. And we could also potentially gain an NP up, so. Okay, I should give Scatty this one while I'm at it, because that's another way to get our damage up. Okay, I gotta find Shingon because he has our defense removal ones. Please tell me Scatty has her command codes unlocked. It wouldn't shock me if she doesn't, because I don't really use her for anything fancy. Like I don't use her for videos or soloing or anything. So she might not. And I don't think I have any keys right now. I could put them on Atalante, I suppose. That's pretty much the same thing. Not quite, because you have Scatty out. Yep, Scatty doesn't have them, but I think Atalante does, so I'll give them to her. Okay, do that one, and then some debuff clear. I mean, defense clear. I may not... Wait, did I unequip Qinggongs? I think I did. It's kind of an autopilot there. That one. I need the Aya one, which is a 4-star. There it is. And then we've got the... There's one other one. Which one is it? I should have looked, I wasn't paying attention. I know that's attack up. Is it this one? Oh, I think it's this one. Okay, so between that and Ares, we should have plenty. And then we got this potential NP up. And then Ares should, yeah, Ares, if you can, do this command code, and do the other Da Vinci one, and then do the Ruler Artoria one, and then do defense removal. That way we have just a lot of cards in the deck to do damage up if we don't need to do the defense removal. I'm gonna BRB real quick. I'm gonna like slap together a sandwich or something because I need to eat. I forgot to eat before the stream because I'm a dummy. Move my OBS here. I can't see shit. Yeah, that was Tusk. Tusk just got home. Okay. It's murder time. God, I had to do the save scumming part again. One of these days, she's just gonna NP Alex on the first attempt. Tuna sandwich. Generally, if I eat a sandwich, it's normally tuna or peanut butter and jelly. I don't eat too much else. I guess turkey, too. I'll eat a turkey sandwich, too. What I don't like about this, because we don't have Scatty, is our NP gain is, Man, could you just hit Alex for once in your life? I like how Scatty's almost dead. Like, why couldn't you have double attacked Alexander instead? Land the quick up. Quick up. Nope, that's Buster. Still hasn't hit Alex. We gotta live one more turn. This fucking sucks, dude. Scatty had the most health here, by the way. Wow. Well, good enough. Hopefully I get my damage too, though. Okay, we got it. That should do it. Why did I do the Brave Chain? Literally, why didn't I do the Brave Chain? Thankfully it's fine, but like, why risk it? Okay, game. Do me a solid here. The music knows. Watch him kill Scatty. Like with the normal attack after. Nope, actually hit Alex. Why couldn't you have done that earlier? I'm actually worried she's gonna die. As such, I'm going to use her buffs for the save scumming first. What'll suck is if I use her quick up, I haven't used her defense down yet, and then Alex gets hit. And then she gets attacked, and she dies. Also, can Asterios get an animation update? Like, damn. I feel like he's gonna be one of the last ones to give it to. I don't think they're gonna do that anytime soon at all. Don't kill Scatty. Just don't kill Scatty. You absolute son of a bitch. I should have just reset when she took that much damage. Like, he attacked her so much on those early turns. I should have just reset. Because we could get him to kill Alex again, and he could just kill her again, right? Like, it's totally possible. It's 50-50. Well, it's not quite 50-50. Because he could cast a skill, because there's one action left after the NP. And you could cast a skill or attack, and then the attack is 50-50. I kind of think at this point, if Asterios gets an animation update, it'll be at random. I don't see them using him for main story stuff anytime soon. Who knows though? Maybe for an event that could happen. Man, if they would do a summer event that was based off like the Olympics, but more Olympian, right? And you bring in the Olympian gods. You put Asterios in that, and then that would be a great time to give him an animation update. I might just reset, because normally we need a 1 in 3 to happen. It's 1 in 3 for him to hit Alex, but now we kind of need a 1 in 3 and then like a 1 in 3 again. It's just not great. Yeah, I'm just gonna reset here. This is worth it. Like, Scatty having that little health is just... Wow! 12k Buster crit. That'd be cool if Asterios got a costume, but I don't see that happening. So look, Scatty has 15k, so she's the least likely to die. Yan has almost 14, so second. And then Alex only has 10. Come on, quick up. Barely matters here, but I want to win this one of these days. I tell you, man. He didn't hit Alex either. It's Scatty again. Bro. This guy just does not hit Alex, man. He just never fucking hits him. The one that is the most likely to die never even got attacked. He's not really a child. He's like a pre-teen at best, but probably a teenager, so that's definitely out of the child range. Still a kid though. Okay, I am done eating. My apologies, but when you're hungry, you're hungry. Like I already explained, why we're not using a taunt CE, and people still say to use a taunt CE. It's amazing. Every stream, man. Okay, let's see. I'm telling you, man, this is rigged. This is, I'm gonna reset until he at least hits Alex one fucking time. Like, holy shit. We've done this so many times now, and has he ever normal attacked Alex outside of the NP turn? Like, what the fuck? He's not a conqueror yet, though. He ain't done shit. Got a horse. Slot positions don't mean anything. There you go with the superstitious nonsense. This is why humans are fucking monkey brains, man. Like, small sample size and people actually think that's like indicative of what's happening. It's not. He has no favoritism to what slot he attacks. If you did this 1,000 times, you're gonna have a random streak where he only attacks Alex a bunch. It's just how it works. Now there are some fights that do prioritize a certain slot, but this is definitely not one of them, and they would never make custom AI like that for such a filler fight. Humans are so bad about that, and I had a friend I remember that was just, he was so bad about that, where he would do something like 3 times, and he'd be like, oh yeah, see, clearly this thing has a really bad drop rate. Or it has a really good drop rate because I got it twice in a row. It's like, dude, like that, you know, random shit happens in life all the time. You know, there's so many variables in life. Of course, weird things are gonna happen. That's what you expect. And when you have a really small sample size, you cannot use that as like, you know, oh, see, this boss clearly like doesn't attack the front slot. Like, of course, that's not a gimmick here. There's like hardly, they put so little effort into these wanted quests in terms of like doing custom AI. You know, they do like one gimmick when you break their health bar, and there's the debuff at the start. But they don't do any like weird stuff with their AI at all. Now, again, there are some bosses they do that, but this is definitely not one of them. And even, maybe I'm wrong and maybe it is one of them, but I have no reason to think that with such a small sample size. With how much I've done these wanted quests, you know, it's just like, it's random, right? And of course, when you pick out a sample out of random, you're gonna have random times where, you know, something happens 5 times in a row or 3 times in a row. What's annoying is just every time I've streamed this happens every time, right? And that's just annoying bad luck. But humans are just so inherently superstitious like that, where we apply, you know, like people were saying, oh, the strengthening quests are clearly going to be all males, and then look, a female one got buffed. It's like, it's just seeing patterns where they don't exist, and of course he doesn't fucking hit Alex again. Humans are like hardwired to look for patterns, basically, and so we just see them where they don't exist. Vlad, you are really killing me right now. I can stun next turn though. As long as Yan or Scatty's not in one-shot range. And he's now in one-shot range. Yeah, Vlad's 5-heading. He knows he's on camera, clearly. That's why, though, the same logic I'm talking about here is why I don't like the 4-star rate up. Because it's so easy, it is so easy to get, like, you know, 5 stars in a row that are not the rate up. It's not rare to get the 50-50 on one side that many times in a row. It happens, right? And then you're going to have a time where you get the rate up 5 times in a row. I'll tell you, though, if that information wasn't publicly known and it wasn't tested and people didn't, you know, spreadsheet it, you'd have so many people that think the 4-star rate up is so bad. Because of that one time they got, like, you know, 4 or 5 4 stars in a row that weren't the rate up. But it's just 50-50. Like, that's what you expect from 50-50. Stuff like that happens all the time. Yeah, we're in Romania. That's why. Alright, well, now we got a 1 in 3. Yan is kind of low enough that he could potentially die to a buster attack, but it'd have to be a high roll. But if he crits, we're dead. But his crit chance is terrible. Yeah, that was Darren Brown. They just filmed him flipping a coin all day, and every time he would do it, they would film the intro. Because basically they showed, and there we go. They showed at this, like they just showed like him doing like an intro unedited, you know, into an outro unedited at like the start of the episode. And so he kind of just like walks into this, I think, classroom or something. So he's like talking in the hallway, you know, explaining like the episode and stuff. And then he just casually, again, unedited, just casually walks into the classroom, picks up a coin, and flips it 10 times. And I think it was head or tails 10 times in a row. I don't remember which one. And then they film the outro, and that's that. And then at the end of the episode, they show how they did that. And they all day they filmed the intro into the coin flip and the outro just over and over and they just did it so many fucking times until they got you know, the really lucky. Because although getting 5 heads in a row or 5 tails in a row, that's not too bad, right? That could take a minute. That could definitely take a minute. Absolutely. But you know that'll happen. But 10 times that actually takes quite a while generally, unless you're very, very lucky. But because they took them like all day. They were filming all day until it happened. So. But yeah, they were basically showing like how you can manipulate stuff like that, and where people see patterns where they don't exist. I really like Darren Brown because you have a lot of people that do like seances where they try to actually act like they can talk to the dead, and they basically pick on people that have recently lost people, and they're in a vulnerable state, and they're not thinking clearly, and that kind of stuff. And they get a lot of money out of them, and they're using techniques that like magicians and stuff have used for tricks for ages, and like Darren Brown and several other magicians and stuff have like done these fake seances and done it better than these bullshit psychics and stuff. They do it way better, and then they're like, yeah, it's all fake. We're not actually, you know, and they to some degree explain, you know, how they do it. But people still buy it, man. People fall for it, you know, even though like they can show how you're able to make it seem like you're doing all this psychic nonsense, but you're absolutely not. And again, they can pull it off better than, you know, any of the actual charlatans do. But, you know, people always fall for it. Dude, I know. I remember when I worked at that pizza place, there were people that worked there that believed in ghosts and stuff because of that kind of stupid shit. I was like, oh my god, you're killing me here. All right, did I cast a skill to save scum? I did not, so I gotta cast one. Yeah, I hate people that leech off of, you know, people that are vulnerable or in a bad place. It's basically the entire like funeral business, though. You know, like selling coffins and all that stuff. Oh my god! And I'm aware of this because, you know, my family's, you know, dealt with several people passing, and yeah, they overprice things, and they try to, you know, pressure you into, you know, spending a lot more money than you really should be, and it's so scummy. Because they know people, and I get it, because, you know, when my father passed, you know, I was not in a great, you know, place. You're not wanting to, you know, think about it or haggle or you know, shop around and all that. But yeah, it's a complete, total ripoff. Almost everything that has to do with funerals is a ripoff. And like, the companies that are involved in it go out of their way to push trying to make it normal. They want to make sure everyone has it so ingrained in their brain. Oh yeah, you must have a big fancy funeral when somebody dies. That way, when someone does die, you don't stop and think about it at all, and then you spend an insane amount of money. And, you know, people die, unfortunately, all the time. And so it's so scummy. Like, it's so fucking scummy, right? And then, but they try to present themselves as like the nicest, most honorable, you know, part of society, when it's literally the opposite of that. It's one of the scummiest industries on the fucking planet. And yet most of society sees them as, like, you know, very special and very important and all this stuff. It's awful, man. It's so ridiculous. And some people, I'm sure some people get involved in that industry, you know, wanting to help people. I'm sure, especially on like the ground level. I'm sure a lot of people on the ground level, you know, they're not trying to rip people off and all that. But when it comes to the higher ups and people in charge of marketing and all that stuff, and sales and everything, those people are generally completely full of shit. Yeah, engagement rings are the same thing. Now, I will say this for engagement rings. Now, it's not really specific to engagement rings, just rings in general. I get why people can place like custom importance on objects, and that's fine. If people want to make, you know, a belt, a ring, or an earring, or whatever, if they want to put significance behind it, like, hey, on this day we're going to do this thing, and this will represent that, and blah, that's fine. That's totally fine. But the whole idea of engagement being specifically linked to rings and a diamond ring is totally arbitrary. It's not even an ancient tradition at all. It's actually pretty new. and you know, commercials and everything push it like it's like this big normal thing that you just have to do. And if, oh man, if your guy doesn't get you a diamond ring for your engagement, he's a cheapo and you don't want to marry that guy. But it's bullshit. Diamonds aren't even, they're not even valuable. I have to stress this, diamonds are not valuable. They are common as fuck. They're almost worthless, right? Like, they are such a joke, you know, resource that is just totally arbitrarily made to seem rare, so they mean something. They mean almost nothing. And yeah, dude, I have seen so much jewelry that is like designed to be like affordable that looks way better than the real stuff. Like, for example, I'm a big fan of the color green, right? I've seen a lot of like jewelry that's designed to be, you know, pretty, you know, inexpensive, and because they're not using real, you know, stones and stuff, they have a wider variety of colors, and especially for green, I've seen a lot of like jewelry and like earrings or whatever that are using shades of green that you're just not gonna see in like actual emeralds and things like that. And it looks way better. Who gives a fuck if an emerald is more expensive, right? Like, if this thing looks the same or looks better, and it's way cheaper and it's not gonna break, you know, because some jewelry obviously is designed to be like a rip-off, and it's so cheap that it'll break, you know, like it's nothing. You know, you want something better than that, clearly. But yeah, there's a lot of cheap jewelry that's not, you know, cheap and that it's gonna break really fast and looks totally fine. Who the fuck cares if it's a diamond or not? Like, it's just stupid. Like, yeah, let's waste hundreds of... And imagine if you're like marrying someone and you're planning on having kids and all these things, and imagine spending hundreds of dollars on a fucking ring instead of like putting that towards your house or your kid's education or your own education, or like, it's just nuts. It's just stupid. Like, and you know, companies get this so ingrained in people's brains, they think if you don't give someone a diamond ring, you know, it's like some big insult. It's just, it's nutty. And anyway, let's blast Vlad in the face here. Okay, am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. We got the one quick down, we got Scatty's quick down, yeah, we got Alex's quick down, we got everything. You know, we could get another buffer in if what happened earlier with Scatty, we could mimic. Remember, like, how he could kill Alex and then normal attack Scatty and kill her? That could actually, that'd be a good thing, because then you could bring in another buffer. But that, there's just no real guaranteeing that you could make that happen. Alright, what normal cards did we get? We have so many, fuck this game, dude. We have so many cards in the deck that boost our NP damage. So, Atalante Alter has a team-wide NP up command code. And then Yan has 3 cards that all can potentially boost his NP damage. So we got none of it. We got none of it. Almost never. I think we had one unit get 1 card to boost their NP damage on the NP turn. This just never works out for us. Marriage or mortgage, oh my god, that's such an accurate analogy there. Dude, I'm telling you, I bet you most couples in the world, especially in North America, but most couples will, you know, they will spend all that money, or look, their parents will spend the money or whatever, they'll put all this money into their wedding and the engagement and all those things, where if you spent that money on your mortgage or your kid's education or your own education or, you know, any kind of investment, buy land, you know, any of that stuff, it is just better. It is just way better, right? Like, it's crazy to me. And people, but you want your wedding to be special. You can have a special wedding and not have it be loaded with money. You don't need a bunch of bullshit decorations you're not even gonna look at that cost a crap load of money. You don't need to invite a bunch of people you don't even know to a venue that's too large to house all these people. Like, just keep it to the people you actually give a fuck about and you can actually have a conversation with, for God's sakes. And, you know, don't get a massive venue that's, you know, because you have less people, you don't need as much space, right? And don't buy a bunch of bullshit. You can buy some totally normal decorations that aren't going to be super expensive, right? So you can still have a memorable time and you can have a fun event and, you know, games or whatever, dancing or whatever the fuck normal people do, right? You can do all these things and have it not cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Like, holy shit. People are just suckers. And I guess on the one hand, you can kind of say if people are that stupid, if they're going to be that stupid you know, they deserve. There's like a famous gambler that was like his thing. He would say if you know, it's immoral to not separate a sucker from their money, right? And so to some degree, I don't agree with that entirely, but I get the sentiment, right? But what really bothers me is it becomes like a cultural thing. So people actually get insulted. Like most, if you actually proposed to someone and you gave them a cheapo ring, even if it looked good, they're going to be insulted by that. Right? Like a lot of people, thankfully not everybody, of course, there's plenty of practical people out there, but that's just stupid. Like that's nuts. Like that's totally nuts. And it's not unique to engagement, by the way. It's just many aspects like that where people just get ripped off and then they get like insulted when you don't rip them off, right? Like it's just crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of suckers out there, I guess, so it is what it is. Alright, I guess on this one we do the Buster NP quick. I don't know why I'm casting that then. Alright, let's see the damage. I'm so sad though we didn't get a single card to boost his NP damage. That would not have been hard. There was so pretty solid chances of getting at least one. And hell, you could have gotten two. Atalante doing some damage there. So we barely did more damage that time, but I suspect that was a low roll. Because he didn't have morph that time, but our damage didn't really change. So that tells me when we NP'd him, when he had his defense up, he probably high rolled, or at least mid rolled. And then on that one, we probably mid rolled or low rolled. And that's why the damage didn't change too much. So if we got a little bit more lucky there, and if we had gotten, you know, oh my god. So if no one dies this turn, our next hand is almost nothing but cards that boost our NP damage. We have one right here if it happens to do quick up. But the next hand is like all of them. They're all in the next fucking hand. So that's some bullshit. Yan will probably die here, so I can't show that off. But let's see if we can miraculously have no one die here. I gotta be ready to ult F4 in case we actually kill him. Oh my god, we killed him. Never mind, we're never gonna see the next hand. Yeah, that makes sense. We had Scatty's buffs and we had his extra crit buff from his NP, so... That's what Ari was saying though, you know, his damage is kind of spread out between the NP and the crits. A lot of crit stuff. Yeah, I'm really glad they buffed him. I'm very happy with it now, and I like him because there's not a lot of servants that are punchy, you know, bang stuff, and he's really cool. So I'm feeling good about this buff. He's got pretty much the largest buff anyone got this patch, except for maybe Kojiro. I would actually say his buff was bigger than Kojiro's if Kojiro's cooldown wasn't 4 turns. But because Kojiro's cooldown is 4 turns, I would say Kojiro probably got the biggest buff. I'll be right back. I just realized I left my water in the kitchen and I am parched. Okay, I'm back and now I have water. Okay, we are finally done with Yan, and I just realized I've been streaming for 3 hours. God damn it. How did that much time go by that quick? We were just doing random nonsense. What else can we... Regent is basically a 4-star if he's grailed. If he's not grailed, he's actually just like a 2-star. I'm not kidding. I mean, it's like he's like a good 2-star now. That's basically with all these Kojiro buffs. Kojiro is like he's like one of the best 2-stars. But you wouldn't want a 2-star DPS anyway. Right? Yeah, we'll do dungeon. We'll do Darkest Dungeon today. I'm super in the mood for that. I think we might switch over right now, actually. I was going to test out some other units, but I think that's enough for today. We did some cheeky stuff in there, so it's fine. Okay, hold on. What's the buff tomorrow? Is it Archer? Is Storm the 5-star Archer? Because I know the last one is it's extra glad. Let's be real. The final one. Yeah, tomorrow is Archer, and then it's extra glad. Yeah, I'm almost positive it's extra glad at this point. The Archer's like the only mysterious one at this point. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly reset the stream just so the VODs are split up. It's more organized that way. But then I'm gonna immediately come back and we're gonna do Darkest Dungeon. So I'll be back in like 2 seconds here.